Yeah, I definitely think we should be able to shoot fucking pussies.
I think, you know, just go back in the military. They used to shoot fucking cowards. So,
Yeah, traitors,
yeah,
and deserters and stuff.
yeah, but cowardice was enough. So
Oh yeah,
fucking shoot them.
we can't go back.
All they have to do is just swear allegiance to the patriarchy, and they're okay.
Right, right. Let's bring back the patriarchy, dude. You know?
Yeah, I never really got to see it, so I'm curious.
Right, right. Well, you know, yeah, I still don't know what the fuck they're talking about, but hey, let's bring it back. You know, it had to have been better than this, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Hey, everybody, we're live. I just went ahead and clicked the button because when me and Undoomed start talking, we just start talking about cool shit. So, figured y'all want in on this.
Yeah.
Say hi. Say hi to the conquered minions. Undoomed. Say hi to the conquered.
Are you conquered now? What kind of fucking pussies are you?
Yes, you're all mine. I just started calling my. Hey, everybody, it's a failure. You're conquered.
No. The mic is not supposed to go into your mouth. If it's a feminine cock, okay, maybe, but
maybe.
Not the mic. Not the
mic. That's how I do my failure. That's how I do my failure impression. I turn up the gain and I get real close because he always sounds like he's like on top of that motherfucker. You know, he also has a deep voice like you do.
Yeah. Yeah, he's funny.
Yeah. Oh god. Yeah. I love failure. I love fucking with him too. Like I'll get on his stream and just do him, and then he'll try to do me. So failure's over there going, "Hey, Magog," and I'm over there like, "Hey, everybody." You know, like
it's really confusing. There's this Magog guy going, "Hey, everyone," and then there's this failure guy going, "Ass rape." I don't get it.
Yep, exactly. So, but yeah. Oh, god. Just before I hit the stream button, while we were talking about my school. And how just fucking pansy everybody is. Like, and I'm not even like a big man's man. I mean, I love my guns, and I'm from the South, and I do manly things, but it's not like I'm like farming, you know?
Yeah, but
you know, I mean, I still like my modern amenities. I like my video games and television and shit,
yeah,
you know?
Sure, but, you know.
I'm not Grizzly Adams, you know?
Okay, but Grizzly Adams, that's not a fucking man's man. I mean, come on. How much more manly does it get than defending your country?
That's you know what? I'm not even gonna argue with that. That is true. I did go to war.
Yeah. So hello. The argument is terminated.
Right. How manly can you be than that? Yeah. But I mean, you know, it's not like manly. What I meant was like it not necessarily means like manly in an alpha male stupidity type of way, you know, like these bros, you know.
You need to put on the chaps and all that.
Right. You don't need to be like, you know, how many times you go to the gym, bro? Like that's not.
Do you even lift, bro?
Do you lift, bro? You know, like, you know, because like I think the left even has some of those guys. Look at fucking. Like PC Principal on South Park, you know, you know, you PC, bro, you PC, you know. But at the same time, dude, I walk around on this college campus and I look at some of the students and shit, and I'm like,
yeah,
did they not like watch the same milk commercials as us growing up? Like I remember the '80s and seeing milk commercials, and it's like make your body strong and grow up strong and shit. You know, like maybe they're not drinking milk or something because these guys are walking around like maybe they didn't eat their spinach. Maybe they didn't watch Popeye.
I think they're just drinking from the stream, and the stream is all filled with, you know, contraceptives.
Yeah. I'm and a lot of
the stream straight up.
Yeah, in a lot of my classes, I am swimming in the estrogen ocean.
Yeah, but that's because it's all women.
It's all girls, man. Like I have my London art history class. I am the only guy except for the professor.
Yeah, but you know, swimming in estrogen when it's all women is a good thing.
Yeah, I guess. Except for, you know, like you're sitting in class and then all of a sudden like the professor fucking flashes a picture of a painting from the fucking 1700s up there, and it triggers the whole lot of them. And then you're back there going, Jesus Christ, people, it was a different time, you know? Like,
what do you mean? What do they show that triggered them?
Oh, like, okay, like the painting of the here's a perfect example. This actually happened. A painting of the members of the Royal Academy of the Arts in London, the London Royal Academy. Okay. There were only 2 women that were actual members of the Royal Academy, right? And because they couldn't be in the same room as nude male models, the only way the painter could add them to the painting was have them be paintings up on the wall. So here's all these men like painting, you know, like here's all these different artists and stuff that are members of the Royal Academy. And then in the background, there's like two little portraits of women. And those are the 2 women that, that went to the Royal Academy. They couldn't even be in the same room as the men. You know, they weren't allowed to paint nude models because it was considered, back then, it was considered very, very uncouth for a woman to be in the same room as a half-naked man, you know? So, you know, like it's thing, and he flashed that picture, and then he told the whole story. He's like, who are those those women back there in those paintings? Those are actually the other 2 missing members of this cast of artists. And it's because they weren't allowed to be in the same room, and the girls just let out a fucking sigh of feminism. Like the whole classroom just deflated, you know?
Fast forward to another 200 years and be like, oh, who is that guy? Well, that's Count Dracula. You know, he wasn't allowed to be in society, so we put him in prison.
Right? Like, yeah. It's like that guy right there, Dankula, man, he's just a troublemaker. He's just a troublemaker.
He couldn't be in there. You know, we had to just put him out to pasture. Sorry about that, but you know, that's the way it is.
Yep, and that shit pissed me off, dude. Like, I know that it's been going for what, like, fucking a year now. He's been like on trial and shit.
Yeah.
But fuck.
Well, not a year, but well, I guess if you include the entire.
Yeah, since the very beginning of the whole situation.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, and then he had to wait for his court date. But I remember the fundraiser. You and I were on that fundraiser with, you know, like Wizard of Cause and all these other people from the internet. Like, we raised his money to help him with his legal funds.
Right.
And so we've been watching and waiting to see what would happen, but never in a million years would I thought anybody would actually convict him. Like, we knew it was going to court, but we thought the judge would just be like, get the fuck out of here. Like I never thought I'd be living in an age where a Western.
Hold up. So the stream is saying that I'm too low. Can you do something about that?
I have you completely amped up. Like, we're both cranked all the way to the max, man, on my end. So, and you sound fine to me, man.
Okay.
Yeah. So, who's saying you're low, man?
I just saw it like.
Oh, turn up Undoomed. Paul Banks says, "Hey, everybody, is everybody, man? I don't know, because, like I said, there's nothing else I can do.
I can't control the volumes. That only the owner can do that."
Yeah, and I have you completely maxed out, man.
Well, in that case, you need to turn yourself down or something.
Yeah, maybe I need to turn my gain down or something. Here we go.
So people can sort of raise their volume, because I can't do anything when I'm not the stream owner.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. This is like Undoomed is definitely lower, but I can still hear him. Well.
Yep, that's it. I just turned my volume up on the watch link, and I am like way loud. So you're fine. I'm loud. So let me turn myself down. That's the problem.
That's good that I'm keeping track of your chat.
Right. Well, I never know when to set this damn thing. You know, I play with the gain to do the failure impression, and then I forget to turn it down, and then I'm like incredibly loud. So
that's what it was.
Yeah. Yeah, I was watching, but I never saw anybody. I just now saw it on somebody's like, I hear good dispenser of wenches, you know. So, but yeah, like that's just how, like, don't get me wrong, I've met a few students that are like, there's hope for you. You know.
Oh, okay.
You know.
But they still have the skinny jeans, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. College students have a tendency to all look the same.
Yeah.
Like it's weird. Like I'm walking around in like a dirty t-shirt and jeans because I don't give a fuck, right? And these people, they show up like they're going out to the mall or something, you know. You know, they got they got their college fashions, you know, purple hair and like seriously, that's a thing, dude. I'm not joking. That isn't even like a joke. Like I know people say the whole purple hair thing as a joke to describe feminists. That is not a joke. You do not know how many fucking girls are walking around my campus with pink and purple and blue fucking hair and shit.
Obviously, I've never been to your campus, but yeah, it seems to be like some sort of crazy thing. And the funny thing is they're all vegan environmentalists, right? And they're like, okay, could you please not use so much chemicals for your hair? Maybe we could save the planet.
Right. Yeah. Oh, dude, yeah. Like I even just tweeted out today a picture of, you know, I'm in the arts. So I'm in the arts building and all the students get to hang up their art in the hallways when they're done with their projects in class and stuff.
Ooh, kindergarten.
Yeah, exactly. And here I am. I'm walking down the hallway, to my next class, and I look over, and sure enough, here's this piece of artwork with like a picture of Trump yelling, and his hands are turned into guns. They like did a little collage, and his hands are fucking M16s, and there's all these like paper clippings behind him. I tweeted the picture today. I tweeted out the picture. I was like, yeah, I wonder how this student feels about Trump. You know, like.
Can we have like a nice logo on it and a tagline and then 2019 in theaters everywhere?
Oh, I could just imagine that as a movie. Fucking Trump gets
Trump with guns. That's better than sharks with lasers.
Right? Trump, in a world where people want to take your Second Amendment rights, President Trump finally surgically removes his tiny hands and replaces them with guns. You know, like.
Yeah, when the Second Amendment is just not enough. Get guns for your hands.
Yeah, get gun hands, everybody. That'll stop them. What are you gonna like? You could literally like if you had a gun for a hand, like if you could like surgically add a gun to your hand, you could literally make the argument that the Second Amendment guarantees your right to bear arms.
Yeah, because otherwise it'd be ableist.
Right, exactly. It would be ableist to say I don't have the right to bear my arms literally on my body.
Yeah. let's make it happen, people.
Yeah, like that. Just like now somebody's going to invent a comic book character named Triggerfinger. You know, like,
or someone's going to actually do it, and that'll be a first.
Somebody needs to take that picture I tweeted today and meme the fuck out of it and send it to Donald Trump and shit. I'll show you the minute triggered, you know, like.
Yeah, I wonder what would happen if they just took a picture and sent it to Donald Trump and he's like replied, "I like it" or something.
Yeah, like what was weird too is if you look at the picture too, you can definitely tell it's anti-Trump because like they also added like this like lettering. I guess it was a typography class or something. The lettering was like straight from like the communist propaganda letter like font style. Like it was like that.
What font did they use?
Oh God, it's hard to explain, but as soon as you see it, you know it. It's like that really kind of bold, blocky lettering, you know, that kind of looks like old USSR propaganda, you know, lettering. And it's just like you see it.
When I think about it, I don't see anything except
Here,
I'll
screen. Yeah, no, I'll screen share this picture, and you'll get what I'm talking about. The moment you see it,
right?
You'll kind of understand. So let me screen share here for a second, and you'll get it. Share screen. You should be able to see my screen now. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, here it is. You see, it's like that. That fucking Nazi or that fucking communist propaganda poster.
No, that's like the font from The Hunt for Red October.
Right, exactly. It's that USSR, you know.
Yeah, I'm
It's
not
like
sure they actually used that, but it's what we think they used.
right. No, I mean if you actually Google actual not like USSR like communist propaganda posters, it's the exact fucking font, man.
Oh,
Like,
they did. All
oh
right,
yeah,
yeah,
they definitely used it for
'cause
sure.
that definitely looks like a movie title font.
Yeah, my hands are not small. And then they got all like the New York Times clipped out. Putin led scheme to aid Trump, you know, deportations to begin, you know, like it's terror. It's like it's just
But
like
I mean, that looks like it's such a small picture. Not. Um, I mean, how large was that thing?
oh yeah, it was probably only a little bigger than your traditional like 8.5 by 11 printer paper size. It was
Oh,
obviously for like
okay.
typography class or something. You know?
Okay. Yeah, I don't know why. I just got it in my head that they like made a huge painting of it or
No,
something.
no, 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 no. But like these are a lot of these classes are like intro classes, like typography and graphics design and stuff. You know,
Hmm.
like but they hang the student artwork out in the hallway so the whole school can see it if they want to, and then they do the student competitions and stuff. You know, like they actually have a gallery in the building and they'll hang up student artwork in the gallery if it's chosen by a judge, and it actually goes up for sale and stuff. You know,
Right, right.
so.
Yeah. I don't want to pay for it.
Yeah, it's just getting like bad. Like we haven't talked in a while, so I haven't told you this story. But the very first day of school, for my the very first day, I went to Intro to Photography, one of the
Hmm.
classes I'm taking this semester. We began with camera basics and kind of learning about the camera and a little bit of history of the camera and all this and that and how to use the camera properly.
Right.
Well, that first day of class, the very first lecture she gave, one of the first things my teacher said was photography has a history in racism.
Oh.
And
Oh.
I literally was like, this is going to be a long fucking semester. Like
Yeah.
this is going to be a long fucking
It's
semester.
not. This is going to be a long day. This is going to be a long semester. Oh, for fuck's sake! What was the hit racism in the technique of photography then?
According to her, because white people invented photography, you know, it was invented in Europe, in the West, you know.
Everything was what? So
Right,
what?
right. Apparently, because of that, lenses were ground like the first camera lenses were kind of smoothed and ground in a way that would capture white skin better than dark skin
Uh,
because they had to kind of like make the camera be able to.
First of all, I don't think they actually had any choice back in the day because they were just happy. Holy shit, we could grind glass. I'm so
Right,
happy.
we're talking all the way back to like the early daguerreotypes where they were literally it was more of a chemical process. They were using light and these
Yeah.
chemicals and shit. Like it would literally take like 15 minutes to render a photograph. Like the person had to sit still for
Yeah, they
like,
had like fucking things to hold their head and shit.
right, exactly. Like we're not talking about the fanciest fucking shit. And then she was even wrong because I raised my hand and was like, "How could you say that?" And she's like, "What do you mean?" I was like, "Because technically the first photography goes all the way back to ancient China. They figured out how to use pinhole cameras in Egypt.
Hmm.
You know, like you make a really dark room and you poke a hole in the wall, and whatever's outside that hole will literally reflect on the back of the room, like
Right, the camera
yeah,
obscura.
yeah, exactly. Camera obscura. I'm like, that's technically the first camera. It didn't go on film. And she's like, but we're talking about film cameras. We're talking about the first like chemical processes and stuff. And I was just like, please, do you have a gun so I can put it in my mouth?
I would really like to suck a gun right now.
Right? It's like she might as well just stood up there and be like, hey, everybody, welcome to Intro Photography. You're all racists. Like she might as well have just said that, you know, like
Yeah, but I mean, yeah. Secondly, like I said, there was a first point, and that was that. But then, secondly, um, yeah, they were mostly taking pictures of white people. Did you expect them to figure out that, oh, in 100 years we would have a multicultural society? Is that what she was
yeah,
saying?
no, they don't. Yeah, I guess like I don't know. She just wanted to prove, like, it wasn't even necessary for the lesson, because after that we just went on to learning how to use our cameras.
Okay.
You know?
Well, what did she teach? I mean, if you're at that level, I bet she doesn't know shit about a camera.
No, she's actually a very good photographer. Like, her work is really nice, and I don't fully blame her, because she actually, like, the way she said it to her benefit, the way she said it, it was almost as if I could see the hand of social justice up her backside making her say it.
Okay.
It wasn't like she enjoyed it. She kind of like laughed and was like, "This is part of the lesson plan, people." Like,
yeah, I'm not sure if that's good or bad. Like,
yeah, me neither. Like, you know, but I mean, outside of that, I mean, she's a very good photographer and she's a very good photography teacher. I kind of enjoy her class, except for a little bit of the whole, like, her major is photography. Like, that's why she's a photography teacher. But her minor was like psychology. And so, like, it's not just a photography class where she's like, go forth into the world, use the techniques I have showed you to use your camera and take great artistic photos. And then we'll talk about them. She wants us to, like, journal entry everything we do. Like, we have to write, we have to keep a diary. So when we're taking these pictures, we have to write down what we're feeling at the time, why we chose to shoot what we shot, what was it for, what message are we trying to send.
I would have killed my teacher.
Yeah, like, literally part of my grade is to turn in these journal entries describing why I did what I did and what my feelings were at the time and what message am I trying to send, you know?
So I'm guessing you just Google something and then some angsty teenager has a blog post and you just copy and paste that shit?
Yeah, I haven't been doing the journals. So
I know you can't admit that live.
No.
So just wink. Right. We all know.
Right. Are you under distress, Magog? Is the teacher in your room right now? You know, like, no, I mean, seriously, it's like, I haven't been doing the journal entries, so I've only got like a B in that class because she's been knocking off quite a few points for me. Like, I've just been turning in the photos, you know, but I'm getting really high grades for the photos I'm doing because I do have an artistic eye and I enjoy photography. And so, like, I've been showing up with some really great shit, you know.
That's good.
And some of the people in class are showing up and they got like pictures of their cats, you know. And it's like, the teacher's like, I'm looking for a little more artistic than just pictures of your cat, you know. And here I am putting like glass together and shining lights on them in different ways and stuff like that so I can get the reflections off the glass. And, you know, like, I'm doing all kinds of cool shit. I'm building still lifes and taking pictures of them. And so she's been really impressed with my work, but she's like, I don't know what you're thinking. And I'm like, I'm thinking I want to pass this fucking class. Like, do I really need to write that down for you, Teach?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Jesus, what would you be thinking? I'm thinking I'm concentrating here. Shut the fuck up.
Right. You know, like,
don't distract me.
Dork Oracle gives $2 Australian and says it was the same for my painting class. Yeah, it was when I took my figure study class, you know, drawing naked people. The male model was like a 65-year-old dude with a beard. He looked like Santa Claus, and he'd come in and get naked, and we had to draw him. The female figure was a 22-year-old feminist with like hairy armpits.
I'm so confused right now.
Yeah,
my dick is so confused right now.
Right. You know, like,
22-year-old, you're like, and then feminist with hairy armpits.
Yep,
I'm
like,
so confused.
She'd come in and pose. She'd get out of her robe and then she'd stand there and then she'd put, like, the teacher would be like, put your arm up and do like an elegant kind of arm raised pose.
No.
She'd raise her fucking arm and her fucking hairy armpits would be there. And oh, dude, one day she like showed up and she posed for us and her fucking armpits were colored. Like, she dyed her armpit hair like purple.
Oh, go easy on the fucking chemicals. Save the planet. You know, stop using the chemicals. Come on.
You know, don't get me wrong. She had a decent body. She was cute and everything, but she had tattoos that we had to ignore. She's like, don't draw the tattoos. This girl had literally a tattoo of her fucking beagle on her ass. Like, she had a fucking tattoo of a dog on her ass, you know?
That'd be weird. Like, on her ass?
Yeah, on her fucking right ass cheek.
So you're just back there and you're pumping, you're smacking her ass, and you're actually smacking her beagle.
Yeah, yep.
Oh, that'd be weird.
You know, it's funny because Darwin, when he went to the Galapagos Islands, he sailed there on the ship called the HMS Beagle.
Yep, yeah.
And so, like, anytime I see a beagle, I think of Darwin. So here I'm sitting there, like, if I was banging that chick from behind and I saw that beagle on her ass, I'm like, her ass is not evolved.
Okay. So that's an interesting
this chick is de-evolving right now, you know, like I don't even know why I'm sticking my dick in it. Oh, God,
yeah, that's an interesting thing to come up with. I was thinking Star Trek.
Yeah, somebody's like, yeah. I got it. Can I say your? I can't say your name. Yeknomino says, thankful it wasn't a pug.
Right. That too.
That's funny.
Oh my God.
So yeah, like school's kind of been hell, and I've noticed some questions in the chat and stuff.
But
so you know,
at least you have a strip club in your school, so there's that.
Right. Well, only if you take figure study and it, you know. But no, there's this one guy, Jason. Man, he's a really great artist. I'm talking fantastic. His stuff was in the gallery for the student competition, and he does these extra large, like nude women. Like he gets nude models to pose for him. He's working on his thesis right now. He's actually in the more advanced classes, but the shit he can do with graphite, it's fucking amazing. Like the shit looks so realistic, like, and it's so big. He does these massive, I mean, like his pictures are pencil, but they're like 6 foot by 4 foot. Right? Like they're huge pieces of paper. And so like he literally does like all these little details, like the moles on the girl's back or whatever. Like you see her ass and shit, and she's got this elegantly curved back and her hair is flowing, and it's just beautiful, like work. And then he did this one, and he's selling it for $2,500, and it's a nude woman that's like 6 foot, right? Like full size. And he put it together with shredded magazine pages.
Okay.
Like he literally shredded magazines, and one little square at a time, this whole huge nude woman. And, you know, like, God, he got like all the details. Her nipples were like a different color, you know, and stuff. So he had to like find different colors of squares from the magazine shreds and stuff. It's a beautiful mosaic, you know. That guy does not give a fuck what people think. Like he does beautiful, like naked women for his art. Like that's what he does. And so like when people went into the art gallery and saw his art posted up, they were like, fucking misogyny, like just sexualizing women. Like I heard these 2 girls, one of them was wearing like a hijab, you know, and she's like, this is more of what we're talking about like every day in my sociology class. Like this is just, you know, like, and they're over there just like, this is just more sexual objectification. And Jason's over there. He's a big guy. He's taller than me, probably weighs like 300 pounds, you know, and he's just like, them bitches are stupid. You know, like he doesn't give a fuck. So like I said, there is hope. There's quite a few people at the school that I've met that give me hope, but I'm so done, dude.
Yeah, but what is the definition for that? Because every time some fat bitch on Twitter posts a picture of her body, it's like, oh my God, that's so empowering. So it's just pretty girls that can be seen.
Yeah, right. Like, look at what they did with the what was those girls that do the Formula One races? Those you remember when that happened a few weeks back?
Grid girls.
The grid girls. It's like those are just feminist, angry that really hot girls are making money by being really hot.
Yeah.
You know, it's like it's empowering if you like go nude at a slut walk or something and you're like a fat Tumblrite. It's empowering. But if you're doing it in order to attract the male gaze, it's wrong. It's not empowering if you're doing it if men like it. If men like it, it's not empowering. That's the rule.
Right.
I think.
That makes sense in terms of Count Dracula or Dankula.
Yeah, Dank.
That makes sense because it's not about context as far as he's concerned, it's just what we decide.
Right. It's
We
them
are
deciding. Yes, it's them deciding what the context means, not the other way around.
Oh,
so yeah. So Anti-Hero Broadcast says, my girlfriend is being forced to take a woman's interdisciplinary studies course in her college, where she'll be instructed as to what her gender roles are. I'm going to be single by Christmas. You poor man.
Yeah. What does that even mean?
I don't know. What
I mean, she's going to be I mean, that sounds good. So she's going to be instructed in making you dinner. I don't get it.
I don't think these are traditional gender roles, you know. I remember when I took psychology back at my previous school, because I've since switched schools to go after the bachelor's. After I finished my associates at PTC, I switched to Euler. But back when I was at PTC, I took psychology. And I remember in psychology, we were covering, you know, like Jungian archetypes and fucking, you know, Freud, you know, and the whole Freudian mindset of like everybody thinks of sex and, you know, things like that. Right. And everybody attribute, like if you have a dream about you walking through a forest and you're lost and you can't find your way and you wake up breathing heavily because you were scared of the dark or whatever, Freud would be like, you're sexually attracted to your mother. Like that was his thing. Like he was just always like, you're sexually attracted to your mother. Like that's his go-to thing, right? So I cracked a joke in that class, and then some fucking girl in that class was just like, this is just more proof that, you know, boys can't control their sexuality or whatever and just objectify women constantly. And the teacher was like, eh? And he like looked at me and I was like, yeah, well, women do the same thing. And she's like, no, we don't. And I was like, really? Magic Mike isn't a thing? Like, and she just shut up. She had no argument for that because guess what? She probably liked Magic Mike. Bunch of hot, naked fucking dudes, you know, stripping, you know, like, do you really think that women like romance movies where like the beautiful woman falls for the short, fat, bald guy?
Yeah. Do you think,
you know, no
man in history has ever gone to see 50 Shades of Grey except some woman didn't drag him there by the fucking hair?
Right. You know, like I literally had a friend of mine whose girlfriend was like, no, we're going to see 50 Shades of Grey. I always go to your stupid Marvel movies with you. We're going to 50 Shades of Grey. And he's like, fine. So he literally texted me, like I was in class. It was like an afternoon. They went to an afternoon matinee or something. And I was like in class and my phone went off and the teacher's up there teaching. So I just slipped my phone out under my desk and I looked down at it and there's a text. And my friend just said, worst porno ever. Like,
I mean, if women get off on that, fuck yeah, whatever, you know.
Right.
But that's just not for me.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a pretty bad movie because it's all around too. It's all about like kind of like abusive relationships, not the sex. Like she was obviously like getting all hot and heavy into being whipped and shit, but this was like a really controlling motherfucker, you know. And it was all about her finally like breaking it off with him, like because she realized how terribly controlling he was. And it's like, man, even in the hot, sexy romance movie that's like the best-selling book amongst women in all of the Western world, the man is still the fucking bad guy, you know. Like, you know, I just
but I've heard that in the later movies it's like
they get married and all that stuff. Yeah, she goes back to him, of course.
Yeah, because he gets rich or something and then like rich.
No, he was always rich. No, he was always
rich. I guess he got richer or something. I don't
know. I don't know
any of them.
I never saw him. I read the synopsis so that I could try to understand, but there is no understanding.
Yeah.
It's really not. I mean, some things just appeal. I mean, I do know that 50 Shades of Grey started out as a fan fiction for Twilight. The writer of 50 Shades of Grey. Yeah, like it originally started out as like a Twilight fan fiction, but then it became kind of its like own thing or whatever.
Yeah, I've heard that. I don't understand that, but okay.
It kind of makes sense though, because if you like see how the characters act and stuff, it's very, very much like Stephanie Meyer. Like it's just like, you know, girl biting her bottom lip and the guy is like overly aggressive and she's the shy, you know.
Who's Stephanie Meyer?
She's the writer of Twilight.
You think I would know that?
I don't know why I know it. Undoomed.
Yeah.
Hello. So anyway, to update, like, let's take a quick break to update my chat. I saw a couple questions earlier. I thought I'd get to them. Side quest news, that was a big one. Somebody asked what the future side quest is. My show with Beardbarian. Obviously, because Beardbarian fell on some hard times, the fundraiser has helped him, but he's got to get all set back up again, get a new place and everything because he was about to be homeless. So with that and our new co-host that's replacing Vamp, she's got some stuff happening too, but she's got her set up. She's ready to go. So we're just kind of waiting on everybody to get everything together. It was just bad timing. Like Beardbarian fell on hard times. Our new co-host needed to do some things, and I'm still in the middle of like hell. Like I'm literally like 5 weeks. I'm going to be so much happier because I'm going to be out of school for good. So we just went ahead and decided as a group, we'll start side quest back up in the summer, like May at the earliest May. What
happened to Vamp?
Vamp just kind of went her own way. Like we're still friends and everything, but because she started dating Tonka Saw.
Right.
And because of that, she started becoming kind of the background producer of the Kumite.
Okay.
And helping him run those streams. And those go for hours and hours every day. And it was exhausting the fuck out of her.
Right.
And then she also knew that the whole blood sports thing might bring some, drama and some baggage. And she didn't want to drag me and Beardy into it because we're kind of doing our own thing. We're just trying to be entertaining and unique, and we're these characters, where we play these characters.
Right.
And she wasn't really into that. She had the whole vampire thing going, but she didn't even want to be from like the world I created. She wanted to be just like a modern vampire chick, which was okay. We were okay with that. But she was like, you know what, guys, I don't want you guys to get dragged into the drama and stuff that's going to happen with the Kumite. I'm already too busy helping to run the Kumite. So we just, we said goodbye. As far as side quests, like I said, we're still friends. There were no like hurt feelings. There was no fight or anything like that. She just wanted to go a different way with her channel and what she was doing. So we found a replacement, and I've been keeping it a secret because I want people to be surprised.
All right.
So, but you definitely know her, Undoomed.
Okay.
You've streamed with her before, and she does have a channel and everything, but she's creating a character because she's not like a character channel or anything, but she's creating a character for this, and it's really exciting. It's fun.
Okay, well,
my live show side quest, it will come back. We might even change the date. Like we might try to do it on Fridays because once we're all ready to go, Beardy's in his new place. The new co-host got all the stuff she needs figured out, and I'm out of school. I will no longer be bound to like the Monday night schedule, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I can, because I'm going to go full YouTube after this, like no other job. Like I've given up all my other jobs. So hopefully I'm gonna hit the ground running, bro, this summer. Like I'm done with school. Like seriously, people are like, "You gonna go back?" Fuck no. My GI Bill is up. This is the last semester for my GI Bill. I would get paid to do this, but I'm not going to pay to go to school.
Yeah.
I'm too set in my ways, man. I'm 33 this year. I've got tons of work experience, military experience. If the YouTube thing falls out from under me, I can get a job. I ain't worried. I don't need no fucking, like I was doing this just to get paid to go to school. Like the GI Bill paid me to go to school. It was my job. One of my jobs. Excuse me. So yeah, I'm done, dude. I'm giving it up. Like I'm just gonna fucking pay off what little student loans I did take out just to help me with some credit card bills.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just gonna be done. I'm gonna concentrate on the business. I'm gonna build the website. I'm building the new studio on the 12 acres of land. It's gonna be a big fucking building, basically, that I can film in.
Did you get that deal going now, or?
Oh yeah. I originally wanted to buy an actual property, but I got denied the VA loan because they were like, you make money on the internet, and they didn't want to take the risk. Like I just didn't make enough money for them to be happy as a self-employed person.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. So that was real tough to kind of take that blow. I couldn't get the VA loan and actually get a house with some land and then build the studio. But I already own 12 and a half acres of land. I talked with my family, and my dad and mom were like, it's going to be your land anyway. You're going to inherit it when we die. Let's just build you something out there. And I'm like, fine, let's do it. I need it. I got to get out of this 1-bedroom apartment. You know,
right.
I can't expand my show
from the beginning.
Because originally I wanted to go big. I wanted to actually get a house that I could live in. Like, I didn't want to stay in an apartment and then have like a separate building. But now we worked out a way to build this building, but make part of it like a studio apartment.
What, you can't fit a house on a 12-acre property?
Oh yeah, we can. The problem with that 12 acres is it was a little out of the way of where I wanted to be. Internet is kind of tough to get out there. We're going to have to figure that out. And it was landlocked between 2 other properties down in easement that we don't own. And so I was really worried about moving back in there with a bunch of, in between these people that, like, we bought that land years ago just to go up there and shoot guns. Like, we just bought it for fun land. It was so cheap. It was like $28,000, right? We just bought it to go up there and ride 4-wheelers. It was the family fun land. Like, we were just going to build like a bathroom up there so that, when the lady folks, like, my mom and my brother's wife and stuff come up to go shooting and stuff, they have a place to go to the bathroom, That was all we were going to do up there, was cut down some trees and make some shooting lanes and cut some trails through it. But now my dad's like, we already fucking own that land. Why not build on it? And I was like, I didn't know you guys wanted to do that. So he's allowing me to build my studio on that land. And it's probably going to be more of a stepping stone property, depending if I'm successful and do what I want to do, I'll probably end up moving again and buying like 50 or 60 acres. Because I want to build like a full functioning medieval village to shoot the sitcom in.
Yeah, why not?
So yeah, the direction I want to go with Magog is an actual sitcom. And so, like, I have to build the world.
You do realize that sitcoms are paid for by networks, right?
Yeah, but this is going to be a grassroots thing, man. I'm going to build it all myself. We're going to film it. We're going to get local actors. We're going to get people like Beardy's going to fly down for 3 months out of the year and film. Like, it, we're going to do it all on our own, bro. It's going to be exciting. It's an exciting project,
Yeah, I mean, I'm all for it. It's awesome. I just need
you to do a little, right? I just need you, Undoomed, to do a little voice work for me. All I need you to do is go, viewer discretion is advised, so I can put that at the very beginning of each episode. Like, that's all I need. I will pay you to do just one line,
Oh yeah, I got to do the court thing,
right?
What is it they say?
Have your people call my people. We'll do lunch.
Oh, fuck off.
What are you talking about? What do they say? What do you mean?
Oh, the what is that? The fucking court thing? The Law and Order.
Oh, right. Like all criminal, like all suspects are innocent until proven guilty in a court of law.
That's cops. That's cops.
Oh, was it? That's cops. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's like the criminal justice system. What is it they say?
I'd have to look it up. I'd never really watched that much Law and Order, but I know what you're talking about. Like right at the beginning of each episode.
Yeah,
they would say something.
I know it in
and then it would play that. It would play that ching ching.
Exactly.
Like it's like the special victims unit ching ching. Like
right. That's every episode for not just a special victims unit. Every one of them.
Oh yeah, they all do it. I'm just saying that's the one I remember because I think when it comes to Law and Order, I think the only ones I've ever seen were the Special Victims one. Every now and again I just catch an episode on TV or something.
Yeah, because that's the only one they make nowadays, I guess.
Yeah, like that was the only real successful one because that was the dark and gritty one.
No, because it's the social justice one.
That's true too. Yeah.
Hello, it's got victim in the title. It's special victim, not just a victim. It's a special victim.
I ought to do like an episode of sitcom, like for the sitcom where Magog kind of has to like investigate a crime in medieval times, and it suddenly just takes a CSI, like he's using his magic instead of science to like solve the crime.
Please don't use CSI Miami at that point.
Yeah,
That's
like
just such a cliche. Just use the original for fuck's
yeah,
sake.
yeah. Just use the original. Yeah, I'm not gonna do the whole like what's his name?
Yeah.
Put the sunglasses on. You know, looks like he got in over his head. Yeah, you know, like
It's like fucking Ace Ventura is that guy or something.
right.
The
Yeah,
way he speaks, it's like, yeah, it's almost like he wanted to get caught.
and then it fucking goes right into that Who song. You know, like fucking. You know, fucking hell, man. Yeah, yeah. I'm not gonna do that, but I'll definitely entertain the idea of a Magog where he has to use his magic to solve some sort of murder or something, and then he just ends up blaming it on the king, and the people kill the king, and then he takes over the kingdom. Like,
just, yeah. If you ever get the studio going, yeah, I'd love to see medieval CSI.
oh, that would be awesome, wouldn't it?
Yeah, like they come in there and they do the little fingerprint thing, dressed like knights and shit.
Yeah, right. Like they're arresting a guy and they're like fingerprints, and he holds up his hands and he's got like these massive gauntlets on, and they just ink the gauntlet. And like they don't even take the gauntlet off. He just sticks his finger in the ink, you know, big metal chunk. That shit would be funny. Yeah, a medieval CSI actually would be a really funny show. You know,
yeah. Be like the good old days when they could have actual funny Nazis on TV.
Oh yeah. Well, hello.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh man, like yeah, that's like a huge argument with the Danko thing. It's like, are you going to arrest the guys from Monty Python now?
Yeah.
You know, what about Mel Brooks? You know, like those guys did some of the funniest fucking Nazi jokes ever. You know,
they pretty much built their careers on
Nazis. Yeah, they did. Fucking Monty Python came out at a time where people still remembered the war. You know, this was the 60s and shit, you know, like, you know,
there were actual people who just fought the war.
Right. Then. Yeah. Only like 20 years ago, they were in the fucking war, you know, like these guys were doing fucking Nazi jokes left and right because that was people still remembered, you know?
Yeah. Because back then they understood, you know, fuck, right. I was there. We got to be able to joke about this shit. But now it's fucking illegal.
Somebody's Bjorn says, is Magog going to start off each episode talking to the camera about the setup like Malcolm in the Middle?
I don't know what that is.
I'm assuming some sort of narration. I've thought about that though, having Magog like narrate, like on today's episode, some bullshit happens and I hate it. You know, like, you know, like why not play around with it? You know. Yeah. Oh, Rush 377 says Blazing Saddles. Yeah, you couldn't make that movie now.
No,
you couldn't make Blazing Saddles now. Yeah,
you couldn't even make the joke with a fucking horse.
Yeah, you couldn't even do even some of the simple jokes in Blazing Saddles, like
because you know some vegan would come out and like, you hurt that horse. No, it was CGI. Yeah, but you know, just the idea hurts the horse.
Right, like the horses are fucking offended that the horse got knocked out. You know, like like what about the fucking horse gag in Animal House when they brought the horse into the fucking dean's office? And then it fucking has a heart attack and dies, and they have to chop it in half with a chainsaw to get it out of the office, you know? Like
I don't even remember that. What was that?
Animal House, man. That's a classic, you know, but yeah.
Of course I remember.
No, you remember Niedermeyer, the guy who was like the hardcore, like he was ROTC,
but
you know?
The thing is, that movie sold. I just remember basically that I have seen it at some point, but I don't remember anything about it.
No, that's a classic scene from Animal House. Niedermeyer's horse, because he's like ROTC wearing a uniform and shit, and he rides this horse around and torments people. So the Animal House guys decide to kidnap the horse and put it in the dean's office. And they take it up there and they put it in the dean's office, and then like, I don't know, like I can't remember exactly either because it's been so long, but like a car backfires or something happens and the horse has a heart attack and fucking dies. And so, like, the next day, the fucking dean is in there, and the fucking guy is like measuring the horse, and all you see is its legs sticking up from the bottom of the screen, and he's like measuring it, and all this and that. The dean is all like, "I have to close Animal House," and then the guy pulls up a chainsaw and just starts it, you know. And it's just, oh, it's so funny, you know. Like that was the fucking Animal House was like. That was the National Lampoon days, man. That's the glory days of National Lampoon. You know, the very first National Lampoon movie was Caddyshack.
Right.
Harold Ramis, you know, and in Caddyshack, if you guys watch this is a little bonus material if you want. One of the co-founders of Lampoon Magazine, National Lampoon Magazine, is in the background at the party when Rodney Dangerfield shows up to the fancy party and he's all like, you know, messing with people and stuff. In the background at one of the tables at the golf course at the country club is the co-founder literally doing like a mountain of cocaine in the background. Like he's literally sticking his face into a plate of cocaine in the background. Like that dude, he ended up like killing himself. Like I guess he got like super high, super drunk or something. He was a real depressed guy, and he accidentally like fell off a cliff and died. Like he was out in the fucking Beverly Hills or something, you know, and he just went for a drive and then got out of his car and just. Some people say he jumped. Some people he said that he was just so high he lost his footing. No one really knows, but he was just fucking gone, man. He was out there, man. You know, I can't remember his name. I watched a whole documentary of National Lampoon.
Right.
Yeah. But those were the days of great comedy, man. Great comedy. Blazing Saddles, Porky's, Caddyshack, Animal House, you know, fucking Naked Gun, fucking Hot Shots. Like, those were funny movies.
Well, I mean, there were certainly some awesome comedies, but there were also some really bad ones.
Yeah, unfortunately, the National Lampoon name has really been degraded down. Like after like the main like first cast of National Lampoon guys, which were like Jim Belushi and Chevy Chase and all them, they were like comedy radio voices for Lampoon Radio. Mm-hmm. Like they got hired by the magazine long before they started SNL, you know?
Right.
And in fact, SNL kind of like was birthed out of National Lampoon. Like those comedians. But once they all left and the original creators of National Lampoon sold the company and everything or were forced out or whatever, like National Lampoon just kind of died. Like their movies suck. They're all these like straight to DVD, just like college flicks, like just college kids doing stupid shit like American Pie and shit, you know, just trying to get laid and doing stupid shit. And so, yeah, like don't get me wrong. It was a short-lived, you know, it was a short-lived time frame for comedy, but there was brilliance there, you know?
Right.
And it was just little things too. Like a fucking John Belushi, like improv'd most of all his lines in Animal House. There was no script. There was no script for Bluto.
I wish I could remember it.
Yeah. God, when he goes to the sorority house, I still remember this from when I was a kid. When he goes to the sorority house, and I watched this without my parents knowing it, because they were like, you're not allowed to watch Animal House till you're older. And he goes to the sorority house and he grabs the fucking ladder from the landscaping truck. Oh yeah. No, I mean there were some things they were afraid to let me watch because it might corrupt.
It wasn't even porn or fucking.
Well, it's because movies. Well, no, I mean even my mom let me watch horror movies before she let me watch like things like Animal House, but that's because she didn't want me going to school acting. And reenacting anything like that, you know, it's one thing to watch a monster, you know, or whatever, right? Like I remember my mom let me watch Alien for like when I was like 8, you know, like, but Animal House had some real raunchy shit in it, and she was afraid I'd go to school and act like Bluto or something, you know, like, you know. So, and John Belushi's character, I still remember that, man, where he grabs the landscaping ladder. And he climbs up to the window of the sorority house, and all the girls are in there, you know, having like a fucking pillow fight and shit. And then he wants to move over to the next window because one of the sorority girls goes in there to get undressed. So he's like jumping to make the ladder move, and like nobody hears it. And he gets over to the window, and the camera's right behind him, so he's on the ladder looking in, and she's starting to get naked. And he just like improv'd it, man. He just like slowly turns and looks at the camera and smiles. And then turns back to the window. And then she like her bra comes off and there's her tits, and he just is wide-eyed, and then the ladder falls because his boner pushes him over. Like, and it doesn't show it, but it just suddenly he just blam, you know, like right off that motherfucker, you know. Like that kind of shit was so funny, man. Like it really was just clever comedy, but still kind of, it was still kind of for like the young people, like people, like the adults of the time, like the 60s and 70s, the adults of the time didn't get it. They didn't like it. They thought it was horrible. They thought it was horrible comedy, you know?
Well, that's what adults do when.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like they came from the days of like wholly different comedy. They came from the days of like Jerry Lewis and stuff, you know, like, you know, it was a little safer, you know, but then Animal House comes out and shows an all new, like kind of a comedy that is more for the newer generation. Definitely Porky's. My mom let me watch Animal House long before she let me watch Porky's, but Porky's was way raunchier even than Animal House. Like we're talking about guys who were like popping the fucking, they were sneaking into the women's showers and popping the drain off so they could look through the hole. You know, it was like, and then they stick their dick through the hole, you know, and the girls start screaming and shit, you know, and they're all standing there. And then the fucking ugly ass woman gym teacher comes in and sees the dick. And she goes running at it. Yay!
I have no memory of this. I got to see that.
You've never seen Porky's? Oh, you got to watch Porky's, man.
I'm sure I have. I'm sure I have. It's just, I don't know. I don't remember it at all.
Oh yeah, Porky's was a raunchy. It was all about like teenagers wanting to get laid, and they go to the only place to see like naked women, and that's Porky's. Porky's in the next county over, and then they get, you know, fucked up, and so they want revenge on Porky's. So it's a really fucked up movie. It kind of is, but it's also really fun. There's a lot of great jokes in it, you know.
Well, one thing's for sure, they will never be able to make a sequel of that one.
Nope, they made Porky's too.
Yeah, but now.
Oh yeah, no, they couldn't remake Porky's these days. Hell no.
No.
Even the raunchy comedies nowadays aren't even like as raunchy as like American Pie was, and American Pie was the 90s.
Yeah.
That's not that long ago. Porky's was at least like the 70s, you know. But fucking hell, man, it's like nowadays like comedies just kind of suck, you know.
Well, I mean, comedy is obviously illegal, so it's kind of hard.
Right. You know, you can be arrested literally for being offensive.
Yeah.
You know, in certain countries now, in Western countries, we're not even talking about some like third world shithole.
Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, we're talking about fucking Scotland. Like,
yeah, basically, and that just means the UK, which means the brother country of the United States, basically.
Yeah, I mean, if it can happen in Scotland, it can eventually happen here, even though we have a constitution and a First Amendment and everything, because it could be just easily decided that, you know, Supreme Court could eventually come out and decide what is hate speech and that it doesn't, and the First Amendment doesn't apply to it.
Yeah.
If they can clearly define what hate speech is, they could start kind of chipping away at the First Amendment.
The good thing is that we will still have the Constitution. So
right, we would still have the Constitution, but we would have other laws that kind of chip away at it. You know, That's the thing. I don't think anybody's like, at least right now, fully advocating for like the complete destruction of the Constitution and let's just throw it out the window and restart. But
I'm sure there are people like that.
There are, sure, but I'm saying it's not part of the mass movement as of right now. It probably will be, you know, but there's definitely going to be like, there are already laws that kind of a little bit, you know, are questionable when it comes to the First Amendment. You know,
sure, but they usually get struck down.
A lot of them, but think of the court costs for the person who gets caught doing something, you know. Like, okay, we have a Constitution of the United States, for instance. We have a Constitution of the United States. However, we also have states' rights. And individual states, because of the elastic laws, individual states can decide without the federal government, whether the federal government approves or not, the states have the right to decide what affects their public health and safety and, public works and stuff. Right. And unfortunately, public health and safety and education are really kind of broad. So California, for instance, can decide, even though it's against the Constitution, the California can decide that not saying a gendered pronoun is considered a hate crime and can be is an infraction. You can be fined for it, which they did. They passed that rule. They passed that law. They actually did. And so it's things like that that's going to chip away at it. It's going to be more local municipal laws and state laws that are going to chip away at the whole of the Constitution, not necessarily a federal law.
Yeah, but obviously at some point it's going to get challenged, and at that point, I hope it gets struck down.
And somebody
you can't pass laws that are unconstitutional and just say they're state laws.
That's where it all comes down to the very ill-defined broad terms. See, that's what they go after. They can't just come in and be like, okay. I mean, look at, like, somebody just rose up in the chat. Was it Race? Yeah. Race says, look at Chicago's outright gun ban. Technically, that's against the Constitution of the United States, the Second Amendment. Mm-hmm. Everybody has the right to bear arms.
Right.
But Chicago can ban guns completely.
Until someone challenges it.
Right. And as of right now, nobody's really challenging it.
Yeah. So, yeah. For now, that's fine. But obviously, at some point, it's probably going to get challenged.
Yeah, because the federal government had, in order to create a checks and balance system, our founding fathers knew that the federal government had to have certain laws, but the state government had to have control over certain laws as well in order for there to be balance. And that's why the elastic laws were created. And
that's pretty much why it works, because if everyone in that place wants that law, nobody's going to challenge it. So,
right. It's to give more power to the people. I mean, look at Colorado. Even though it's federally illegal to, like, buy and sell weed and to have weed on your person and to actually smoke it, it's a misdemeanor drug, right? Colorado fucking was like, we're legalizing.
Right.
And the federal government can technically not do anything, because when it comes to drugs, certain drugs being legal and illegal, that falls under the public health and safety and medical laws that are the elastic laws for the state. Mm-hmm. They're allowed to make that. They're allowed the right to make that choice, the people that live there.
Right.
And so, like, that's why, like, you can have weed in California, and the moment you step over the border, fucking, you can be arrested and charged with a fucking federal crime if you have enough weed on you.
Right.
And so, like, it's really weird. Like, we do have that kind of checks and balance system. So we're already seeing kind of a chip away at the Constitution as a whole, but it's through state laws. There's nothing federal yet. There hasn't been, like, a federal law saying you better use pronouns or else, but there are certain states that have adopted those kind of totalitarian fucking speech laws. Yeah,
and then New York is pretty much the forerunner.
Right. New York and California are two of the big ones.
Well, New York first, and then California follows.
Yeah.
Basically.
Well, California also has its own unique population to deal with and different problems too. So, yeah, they followed New York on that one, but California is definitely the first state in all of the United States to basically make giving somebody knowingly an STD, HIV, not a crime anymore. Yeah. They're the first to do that. Yeah. They're really the first to fucking do that. Oh, even New York was like, what the fuck are you doing, California?
Everyone was doing that. Like, what the hell are you doing?
Like, okay, knowingly giving somebody HIV is no longer a fucking felony. Well, it's because it's fucking offensive to HIV fucking positive people. Yeah,
it's pretty fucking offensive to get killed, wouldn't you say?
Well, their argument is that HIV is manageable now. It's not considered a lethal disease anymore. With the new drug cocktails and everything, we've pretty much been able to.
I'm not sure that's true.
Oh yeah, it is. Fucking Magic Johnson is still alive. That motherfucker, like,
do you know how rich that guy is?
That's true too. That's a huge argument too. I mean, we can have that argument if you want, but what I'm saying is modern medicine has pretty much cured it, not cured it, but managed HIV to make it more of a, it's a manageable
gazillionaire, of course.
I mean, they're actually not as expensive drugs as you might think. The problem is when HIV turns to AIDS, you're done. There is no cure for AIDS. So as long as you catch it early enough, it can actually be like a manageable disease and you won't die and you pretty much won't be affected the rest of your life as long as you take the drug cocktails. But if it ever turns into AIDS, if ever you get to a point where you can't afford those drugs or your Medicare can't buy your drugs for you, or you end up out on the streets or something because you lose your job and you can't get them, you could very well still die from HIV. Because if it turns into, autoimmune deficiency, you're fucking done. The common cold will kill you. That's what AIDS is. It's not even like a real disease. Like it's a fucking virus that just kills your immune system. And then something else comes along and kills you, like that's the problem with AIDS is it's a pretty fucked up thing. It's like, I'm going to make you so weak that the next time you get a bee sting, you're dead, like.
Yeah, and I don't think it's supposed to be a misdemeanor to do that.
Yeah, yeah.
Me neither. Okay, let's say that it doesn't kill anyone, but I actually think it does because not all people are as rich as fucking Magic Johnson. But let's say it doesn't. You're still going to have to pay that. So do you actually get some sort of insurance for lost wages and
compensation? Yeah. Who's making those arguments now that it's not a fucking
motherfucker?
Exactly. Dork Oracle throws a super chat and says, Australia doesn't have much of a constitution. We need some American values over here. We have no right-wing party anymore and the country's going to shit. Help. I don't want to be like Canada. Sorry. I'm so sorry, Dork.
Why don't you have a right-wing party? What's wrong with you people?
They've just completely obliterated any kind of right-wing leanings anyway. Like Australian conservatives aren't even they would be considered liberals here in America.
I know.
Like,
It's not like I'm really a big right-winger either. It's just that I think that all parties are necessary. It has to be a competition.
Right. You can't have one-sided politics.
No, because then it's the one-party state. That is the former Soviet Union or China or whatever.
Right.
You have to have two parties that are diametrically opposed.
Right. Right. Exactly.
They have to fucking hate each other and fight each other because that's how we don't get into dictatorship.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people are like, I hate the two-party system and all this and that. And I'm like,
well, the alternative is a one-party system, asshole.
Yeah, because, I mean, technically, we don't have a two-party system. There's plenty of political parties. They just never win. Yeah. They're losers. They're losers. Yeah. And the reason they're losers is because they won't stop harping on, like, the hardcore things that make them that party instead of the other thing. Like,
yeah, I mean, sure, you could have some criticism about that, but the point is, look at Germany. They have a gazillion parties, and what happens? Merkel always wins no matter who wins. So you want that? That would mean that Hillary always wins.
Right. It's a pretty terrible fucking thing. Like it's like the Libertarian Party, a big, huge, like I even voted Libertarian once in my life because I was like, I actually align pretty well with the Libertarian Party more than, even though I'm like a gun nut and stuff, I'm right-wing libertarian, definitely. But I knew that they were never going to win. And it's not that they didn't have the votes and they didn't have the money. They could have definitely made a splash if they had raised enough funds and gotten, because they got like 10% of the vote, in a lot of states, like in Utah and stuff, right? Mm-hmm. Well, the problem is that they're too hardcore on the few things that make them different than the Democrats or Republicans. Like they won't stop harping on fucking digital currency and weed. Like if they would just slow it down a little bit on the cryptocurrency and the weed, they might actually have a viable option to get the attention of your regular Joe Blow American. you know, but no, they have to be all like, we're the libertarians and we believe in the open free market. And by the way, fucking weed, bro, you know, and you sound like a bunch of morons, you know. Like,
cryptocurrency, I don't even remember that.
Bitcoin, that was a big thing for fucking
big thing for them,
for libertarians. Well, they're all about like open free market, and so they're all about like new ways of making money besides the traditional markets. Like they like this idea.
Well, it makes sense, I guess. It's just I don't even remember them. They're not very well equipped for making fucking arguments, I guess.
Yeah, like I said, a lot of the alternative parties, like the Green Party, the Libertarian Party, and now the Liberalists. Oh, that was a joke. They're just a little. They're actually fringe groups within the two main parties. Because what happened in America, and what happens with a lot of bi-party systems, is that there is already like a clear separation of like social and like fiscal and governmental and foreign, you know, values, you know, and policies, right? And those two parties pretty much take up like 90% of the thoughts on that, because a lot of those values and policies and stuff aren't split multiple ways. They're split two ways already. It's like pro-life, pro-choice, pro-gun, anti-gun, you know, like blah, 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 blah. Like there's so little in between. And nowadays they're so hardcore that the two-party system seems more separated than it ever has, because we have a system now where the two parties don't even want to meet in the middle. They're just at each other's throats all the time. You know, It's like Trump could come out and be like, okay, can we at least agree bump stocks are stupid? Can we get rid of those? And then the NRA and the Republicans will be like, oh, no. But even if the NRA and the Republicans were like,
okay, that's not even the thing, though, because if Donald Trump said that, then the left would be like, no, don't fucking forbid the fucking bump stocks.
No, they're actually for it, believe it or not.
I know they are, but if Donald Trump said it, they would be against forbidding it, because Donald Trump said it, for fuck's sake.
Right, yeah. And that's a problem too. But I mean, I'm giving, like, it doesn't matter what president. If some president comes out and was like, can we at least agree on bump stocks, right? Well, the Republican Party will scream bloody murder, Second Amendment, blah, 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 not even willing to meet in the middle. And what the Democratic Party and the liberals would do, the progressives, definitely, they'll come up and be like, that's not enough. How about bump stocks and AR-15s? Like, nobody's willing to just meet in the middle and actually have a discussion. They just want what they want, and there's no bending on it at all. And so that's what creates like this really totalitarian feel with the two-party system, which is why a lot of people are sick of the two-party system. Two-party systems actually work very well in democracies. It worked in, you know, it's just, it depends on the issues. And it depends on how extreme the leaders of those parties are. And right now, both Republicans and Democrats, there's some pretty extreme fucking people.
I think the midterm system is a little paranoid. I think we should, that's the main problem.
The midterms, like midterm elections for like the Senate?
Yeah. I think we should just let the fucking thing run for 4 years and then we elect the other guys.
Yeah, there's been a huge argument of like whether or not like every term, like term limits is a huge thing. Like everybody, it should be just an all new government every 4 years, not just a new president. Right. I think if a president is elected, it should be a Congress and a Senate and a fucking, you know, and all that stuff too. And then do it again in 4 years. None of this midterm elections for senators and stuff. Cause that's what's weird. You know, you can be a senator and you have to re-campaign every 2 years. Who can get shit done in 2 years? Most senators are busy getting reelected.
Yeah, exactly. All the fucking time.
All the fucking time. They have no time to do anything, right? But then you turn around and you can be a member of the House, and there are no term limits. There's been guys in there for fucking 80 years.
Right.
It's fucking weird. You know, like, why is it that House representatives have no term limits, but senators have to get reelected every 2 years? That's kind of bullshit.
Yeah, and I don't think it's you know, it's just not fair to elect a government and then have them be shot in the foot after 2 years, because a government can't get anything done after 2 years either.
Well, here's the reason why it is like that. The reason there are no term limits for the House
Mm-hmm.
is because the House actually writes laws. And the House has to have time to write laws. And sometimes laws take years to write. And you
Right.
can't be reelecting people in the middle of writing a bill. Senators are pretty much the main ones that vote whether to veto the bill or send it up to the president to get signed. So they can be reelected all the fucking time.
Right.
But they're just waiting around for the bills to be written. So I get why they did that. But at the same time, let's at least change the Senate's reelection to 4 years, because nobody can get shit done in 2 years. Hell, new presidents can barely get shit done in 4. Most of them have to be reelected to a second term in order to fucking implement anything. 4 years goes by quick, and they just figured out how to use the fucking phones in the White House, and they have to reelect. They have to run for reelection.
Pretty much.
So yeah, it's a little unbalanced. Like, I think that there should be term limits for the House too. It shouldn't be lifetime. I know it takes a long time to write bills, and they have to form fucking committees in order to write a bill, and they have to work with all the people and get this 7,000-page fucking document written, right? But you can at least minimize it to maybe a 8-year term. I'm sure most bills can be written and figured out in 8 years. And if not, the next guy can just come in, read the cliff notes, and take over.
I'm not really concerned about the actual length of the term so much as I'm concerned with the fact that they take place in the middle of a presidential period, right?
Well, that's why they're called the midterms.
Exactly, and I get it. You're supposed to be able to say what you think about the presidency in the middle of it. It's a nice thought, but yeah, I don't think people or the administration will be able to get anything done.
Right. And a lot of senators are afraid to challenge a new sitting president because they're afraid of reelection.
Yeah.
However, it has worked out in the past. There's pros and cons, because midterm elections here's the pro of a midterm election. Let's say a president is elected by the people and he's a Republican.
Mm-hmm.
But at the current time that he's elected, it's mostly a Democratic House and Senate. Right?
Right.
A Democratic Senate. Well, a Democrat Senate is going to fight a new Republican president tooth and nail. Yeah. So it gives them 2 years to try to work with the new president or lose their fucking seat. Or possibly lose their seat.
That's what I'm saying. Like, they should be elected at the same time as the president.
Yeah, and well, the reason it's stacked like that too is because they also found out that the American people don't pay attention to smaller elections when the presidential election rolls around. So it makes it difficult to vote for all these people and actually get some voices on television and stuff and get reelected as a Senate when everybody's paying attention to the president, the presidential candidates. Like, imagine being a senator trying to run for your seat and nobody is fucking putting you on the news networks and stuff to make your case and to talk to your constituents because everybody's watching the presidential debates. Like, it's really tough to run those many elections all at the same time as the most important election in this country, which is the presidency.
Yeah.
I understand why they double stacked it, but at the same time, in this modern age, it could be done because social media is now determining a lot of votes. You don't need the big cable access anymore to get elected. Look at Trump, man. He got elected off the back of Twitter, and I bet that pisses them off.
Oh, yeah. Ooh, Jack Dorsey.
Yeah, I was wrong on that. I will verbally say that I was mistaken. The House does have term limits. I just got a super chat. Thank you for correcting me. The House has a 6-year term limit, and I knew that. Who is it that has the lifetime term limits? It's this fucking Supreme Court, isn't it? Yeah. It's one of the branches has lifetime. They're the fucking judges.
Yeah,
I was wrong on that one. That I will fully. I got mixed up in my head.
I certainly don't know it off the top of my head. So kudos to the super chat guy.
Yeah. So thank you for fixing that for me for people who watch this stream after it's uploaded. I was definitely wrong on that. I appreciate it. I knew one of them have lifetime terms though. There's like fucking 90-year-old guys up in there fucking determining fucking laws for this, for
Right.
shit.
Yeah, that'd be the Supreme Court. The interesting thing is that those guys are usually the most rational.
Yeah. Well, they're a lot of them are constitutional lawyers and judges, and so they have dedicated their lives to the study of the Constitution and how it applies to the laws.
Hmm.
And so, like, their only job is to take a new law and determine whether or not it's constitutional.
Exactly, and they don't have to worry about will I get elected if I do this.
Right. And so I can understand that. Now, so I was wrong, but it still is offset like the reason why but I wasn't wrong about the House representatives having longer terms because they write the laws. I knew that for a fact. I remember that from American government. Like, they have to have time. You can't be re-electing the House every 2 years. They'll have no time to do anything. And we need them to write laws. We need them to form their fucking commissions and fucking put laws together and stuff for the presidents, and then send it up to the fucking Senate. Like that's understandable, but maybe it should be equal. I think if the House representatives have 6-year terms, then the Senate should have 6-year terms. Maybe. I don't know. But I'm not a constitutional fucking lawyer either, and I'm not a
No, I mean, obviously we're just two lay people.
Right. It's all very layman to us. Maybe there is a actual good reason why they get reelected every 2 years. Who knows? Maybe it's to stamp out corruption or something. And like, we don't want them getting too comfortable in their seat of power. Maybe that's the reason. Who knows? Like, I'd love to talk to somebody who has a little bit more knowledge on that.
Right.
But that's not the point of the whole conversation. The whole point of the conversation was we do have a multi-party system. We allow other political parties. The reason why we're called a two-party system is the two main parties are just too fucking big. They're like monopolies. It's hard to break them apart and give the little guys a chance.
Right.
But it's not impossible. We saw Trump. He ran for a Republican Party. Sure, they were forced to endorse him, right? Because he won the fucking the primary or the fucking election. He became their candidate. But if he had run for the independent, he would have done very well anyway. People wanted a change. They wanted a guy who talked like them and broke and spoke his mind and talked positive things. It's been so long. Like, that's the one thing I'll give Trump, even though I'm not like a staunch supporter of him. He's done some things I like. He's done some things I didn't like. I judge him on the stuff he does bad. I congratulate him on the stuff he does good, like I do with all my presidents. I have a basic respect for the office of the presidency, no matter who holds the office. But I will give it to him. He is the first candidate in a long time that just had like a real, just kind of actual positive message. Like, we're great. We're a great nation. We're a great people. We're hard workers. We're this, we're that. That was wonderful. People really responded to that. After years and years of just politicians calling each other names and going, we have to fix the broken things. Our country is broken. We have racism. We have this that needs to be fixed. I'm going to do this if I'm elected because we have to fix these problems. We finally get a guy who goes, hey, I want us to be great, because we are great. And that just fucking got a huge response out of people,
Yeah. It's pretty simple, but brilliant in that regard.
Right. I think that politicians, ever since basically like Reagan, politicians have really just more focused on destroying the person running against them than actually talking to the American people.
I mean, it's not like Trump didn't try to destroy everyone in his path.
Oh, so. Sure, he did, but he did it in a way where it was all like, I got a problem with you, okay? I got a problem with you. You're stupid. Your face is stupid. Nobody likes you. But the American people, they're great, okay? And they want a great president because they're great people and they're patriotic people, and we love our country, okay? And we want guns and we want trade. We want open trade, okay? And we need to build a wall. And it was just like he destroyed them while at the same time paying massive compliments to your average Joe Blow American. You know, like it's so funny to see him tear Hillary down, but at the same time call me an awesome guy. Like that is amazing. Like the way he did that, he'd be like, "You, Hillary, you are corrupt. You belong in prison. By the way, I love the American people. We're gonna make this great again." Okay.
that was like the fucking gotcha moment of all time when he's like, she said something. I don't even remember what she said, and he's like, "Yeah, because you'll be in prison."
Right.
It's like, oh my God, did that just come out of his mouth?
Right. Thank you, Casey, for reminding me I had my Streamlabs open. Sorry about that, guys. I get to talking on Undoomed, and I just completely forget we're even live. Casey Beardman gives a few shekels for my lord. Thank you, Casey. And Casey Beardman, you better bring back side quest cuck. Thank you for paying money to call me a cuck and tell me to bring back the show that I'm bringing back in the summer once school is over. But yes, side quest is coming back. But yeah, I mean, that was the big gotcha moment, man. I loved when Trump did that, where she said something and he's like, if I get elected, you know, she's like, do you know what will happen if Trump gets elected? And he'll go, and he just instantly was like, you'll be in prison.
Yeah.
like it was just like, damn, you know.
That's when running his mouth really paid off. Like that, you could see that just came out of his mouth. That was not scripted. It was like,
you know,
that was a total Twitter moment. If he would have been on Twitter that second, he would have just written it. But he was live, he was on TV, and that just came out of his mouth. I was like, he'll be in jail.
What's crazy is that he is actually better when he talks to people, but the Twitter shit. I guess it's because we can't like hear his voice and read his inflections or see his facial expressions, because everybody knows it's hard to kind of it's hard to really tell what you're saying in just like 280 characters or whatever it is now,
right?
240 characters or whatever. It's like that's hard to do. So he'll get on Twitter and be like, this is really sad. They're doing the thing and and it's like, God, that sounds so stupid. Right. Like he'll say some stupid shit on Twitter, and I'm like, come on, stop, man. Stop getting on Twitter. But then he'll get on TV and be like, we're going to do this. It's going to be great. I've got a plan. I'm meeting with the people. We're doing this. Also, Hillary is still a bitch. And I'm just laughing my ass off, like I can't help that,
That's a pretty good impersonation.
I literally just came up with it right now. I never thought I even did I don't even think I've attempted to do a Trump impersonation,
pretty good.
Is it? I'm gonna have to listen to it later because I don't know what myself sounds like, but yeah, that's what I did like about Trump. Now I do dislike some things about him, of course. I don't agree with him 100%. You should never agree with somebody 100%.
Of course.
But I don't think he's necessarily as bad as everybody fucking makes him out to be. There are so many people out there that just hate his fucking guts. And I'm sitting there going, he hasn't really done anything.
Right.
Like, not really. Nothing that can't be reversed if it's bad. He hasn't done anything bad enough that can't be reversed. And he hasn't done anything really good enough to just like send him into the halls of history as a great president either. Yeah,
that remains to be seen.
Right. Obviously, we still got 3 years to go,
Yeah. If he does something good with North Korea, he might get there, but that remains to be seen.
Oh, that to me, like, I don't care what anybody says. I love Trump for how he handled North Korea. Everybody flipped out. I loved reading all the articles. Oh my God, we're heading into World War III. North Korea's pissed because he got on Twitter and said some shit. What he did was literally stand up to somebody. Like he stood up to a bully, and he literally was just like, I don't care, Kim Jong-un, whatever his name is, he can suck a dick. I've got missiles too, and everybody's like, oh my God, because they were so used to like Obama pussyfooting around North Korea, right? They thought you better treat North Korea with kid gloves. They'll launch the missiles. And when he didn't treat them with kid gloves, and then they turned around, were like, oh, that's it. Trump said it. I'm going to fucking do it. And everybody freaked out. And then Trump was like, I got on the phone. I explained to him, we got to talk this out. And they backed down. They backed the fuck down. Now they're talking about actually like rolling back their fucking nukes and shit. And I'm like, that was brilliant. All he did was stand up and go, listen, you little pussy, I'm gonna fucking kick your ass. I'll meet you in the schoolyard. You know, like that's what he did. Like,
yeah, pretty much. It was like, yeah, mine is bigger. All right.
so no matter what he does, I'll always have respect for him for that because he played that kind of right. Now, should he have used Twitter? I don't know, but I think that'll at least go down in history. 2 world leaders going at it on Twitter. Like, wow. like imagine if Twitter existed in World War II. Hitler would have been like, Stalin is a bitch. You know, like then Stalin would be like, I'm going to crush you. You know, like
fucking mustache, Jesus.
right. Like fucking. What
is that faggoty ass mustache you have there, bitch boy?
Yeah, can you imagine like Twitter with like Winston Churchill at Herr Hitler? You need to get laid, bro.
Yeah.
You know, like you are an angry little man. You know, like
yeah, and Jack Dorsey be like, no, you don't get Führer. You have to be Herr Hitler.
Right. Herr Hitler, yeah, right. You know, like, and I really did enjoy the Darkest Hour with Gary Oldman playing Churchill. Like that was actually good. That was good. I love that. You know, I love that line where he's like, "When are you going to learn? You can't negotiate with a tiger when your head is in his mouth." You know, like that was some cool shit, man. Like that was really showing kind of the behind the scenes of the politics and stuff. You know, like it was cool.
Yeah, that was a good movie.
Yeah. Jables Boogley says, "Oh, nice. I get Undoomed in live streams twice in a day. I love you too, Magog." Yes, thank you.
Magog sound effects.
Well, you know, this is what I do.
Crowd pleaser.
We're gonna make live streams great again. You know?
Oh yeah. Fuck, now you sound like Andy Worski.
You're right. Oh. Yeah, like, oh, dude, I kind of fell out of all of that stuff because I don't have time to listen to all those fucking long ass streams and shit. So now, like,
yeah,
now
I don't know either.
It's like I miss. You ever like miss a couple television shows and then you're like, fuck it.
Oh yeah.
You really get into the season and then suddenly you miss a couple episodes, and because they're so like strict with their storytelling now, that like if you miss like 2 episodes of like Game of Thrones, you're like, fuck, I'm so far behind already. Like that's what I feel like with YouTube now. Like if I didn't watch a video and then suddenly on Twitter people are like, did you see what Andy and JF, oh my God, they're gonna break up and all this and that. And I'm like, were they married? Like the fuck did I miss? Like, you know, like I don't know what's going on. Like I didn't.
I don't know either. I just, you know, if I see something interesting, I might tune in. I have nothing against it, but yeah, I don't really know all the drama. I can't be bothered with drama.
I stayed out of the blood sports thing, even though I'm still friends with like Failure Vamp, Tonka, Andy. Like I'm trying to maintain my friendship with everybody. Like even with some of my other YouTube friends, like Mundane Matt hates fucking Andy, and Andy hates Mundane Matt, and you know, like all this stuff is happening. I'm still trying to like maintain my friendships with everybody. You know,
I didn't even know that. Why do they hate each other?
They're well, Andy talks shit, and then Twitter, Mundane Matt, and Andy,
Twitter is
just blame Twitter. You know, like there are reasons. I'm sure if Matt were here, he'll explain what happened, like, and it's like, justified. You know, it sucks.
It's like, yeah, Donald Trump, basically. Yeah, one of them is North Korea.
Shit, I got caught. Matt was watching. Fuck. You're right. I'm talking shit. I'm talking shit about Matt, and he pops up in my fucking chat.
Bless
I didn't mean literally hate, man. Okay, I'm sorry. I put words in your mouth. I know you don't actually hate Andy, but you definitely are not on the side of the blood sports. Like I know that for sure. Like that's what we're talking about. Is like people chose sides.
I guess now that he's here, he can either confirm or deny your statement.
Yeah, I wonder if he's busy. I can send him a fucking link. I sent him a link now, and he can come in here, and now you guys will take over talking, and I'll sit quietly to myself. Like last time I invited Matt in with Undoomed, y'all just started fucking going at it. And I was just like, this is interesting. I'm like a watcher of my own stream. Like,
supposed to be a Magog stream. Come on.
I know. Race Jacobson on Streamlabs says, we must ditch plurality voting to ditch the two-party system. I recommend approval voting or range voting. That's the best way for us to grow alternative parties and have higher quality candidates, in my opinion. Thank you. That is
what's up?
That's pretty valid. Yeah, bastard. You never write, you never call. You know,
I am too fucking busy, man. I run 2 channels full time, and I'm a stay-at-home dad.
Yeah,
so
you're a bitch.
How do you even find the time,
dude? It's fucking tough, man. It's a lot of shit, a lot of time spent to like. Oh, the thing is, I'm up with the kids at like 4 o'clock in the morning, so I just do most of my work then.
Yeah, I'm my condolences, man.
Yeah,
it's not so bad.
You're like you should just start a channel called Daddy of One.
Yeah. Be me at 4 in the morning, like she won't go the fuck to sleep.
Oh my god!
I'm sure you'll have fun with your 2 watchers of that channel.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Well, if you listen to fans of the Bloodsport, apparently my channel is dying, so that's news to me. Apparently.
I mean, everyone says that about every channel. So.
Oh, I know. It's so funny. It's so funny. Like your channel's dying. Okay.
Like that's the one thing I hate, because I'm still friends with everybody because I'm like a likable dude, I guess, or something. And I'm like, guys, why y'all gotta be like that? Like I'm sitting here listening to the Kumite, and they're like, Matt's such a bitch, and nobody watches him and nobody likes him. And then I'll go to Social Blade, and Matt will have gained like 700 subs that day, and I'm like, wait, what? Like,
it's the thing is you got to remember is the Kumite is all an act, right? Like it's literally all an act. That's all it is. It's just like and the biggest complaint I hear about it, because I might tune in like to clips. Some people will clip me. They'll send me clips and shit of stuff that gets said, because there's guys now that like they hover around both Warski and the Kumite, and they clip out everything that's like relevant. So you got like these 6-hour streams, and they'll pull out these clips. And like, that's, I don't know if they're making money off of that or whatever. I have no fucking idea, but they do that. And so like people will send me stuff that's either relevant or whatever, and I might tune in or some shit like that. And it's all an act. I've talked to Tonka privately multiple times. I've hung out with Failure at VidCon.
Yeah.
It's all an act. They're mad at me. Like yesterday, and they did the whole stream or whatever. Like I did happen to tune in because I was very curious. I was laughing at the whole thing, and they were talking about me, and like, Failure's mad at me because I got mad at Tonka over the whole Jeff Holiday thing.
Right.
When my side of that was just like, okay, he lied to you. Like you're spurging out, like you're you're making a scene. Like why not just like let it go and like calm the fuck down? Like, because this is just getting nowhere. That was my whole point. But then because of all the other bits of drama that transcended that all dropped at the same time, it all kind of conflated together. And then it became this big blowout. And then it became this next phase of like them trying to get me to like bend the knee or some shit. And I'm not even kidding you, Undoomed. Andy literally held a live stream on Christmas Day because I unfollowed him on Twitter. Like, I'm not even kidding you. Like, just that level of narcissism it's hysterical to me. It's been nonstop hysterics for 3 fucking months.
I'm so happy I just had Christmas. Like, I didn't even fucking turn on YouTube or fucking Twitter or anything.
Yeah.
I had fucking turkeys coming out of my ass. It was just Christmas.
I spent it with my family and my newborn daughter, and I got messages from people as I was out, and I'm just sitting there just chuckling to myself at Christmas dinner while I'm opening presents with family. Like, wow, okay. Like that, but that's how it's gone. Like they were not only that, but like Mr. Repsion had liked a tweet of mine where I was criticizing internet blood sports, and Andy brought on Repsion and then dogpiled Repsion, trying to get him to like apologize publicly for liking a tweet that I sent. Like that is how bad it got at the end of December. And then ever since then, like we've just been trading barbs. And Andy hit me up one day privately and like told me to back off. And I offered him a truce. I said, all right, man, I'll tell you what, I'll stop talking about you 100%. You stop talking about me 100%, and we'll just go our own separate fucking way. And then he demanded that I go on his show. And I said, I'm not going on your show. And then he's like, well, then nothing's going to change then. I said, all right, fine. That's how you want to play it. We'll fucking play it that way.
Well, that doesn't make a lot of sense. He asked you to stop talking about him 100% and get back out of it. And then he's like, come on my show and fight me.
Yeah, no, that's it. That's the mentality. That's the whole situation here. That's if you listen to if you really go and pay attention to some of the choice clips from these past couple days, like you will see Andy will go on the Kumite where Jim and Tonka are basically just like assaulting him for wanting to kind of move away from JF and maybe do something else. And honestly, I think doing something else is probably better for his goddamn psyche at this point. And so they're attacking him for that. Then his audience is kind of attacking him. Then Andy's attacking the Kumite chat. And JF's over talking shit about Andy on a stream and all this stuff. It's just
whoa. Are they talking shit about each other too?
Yeah, no, this is before they each pulled the tampon out of their ass and got back together. Yeah, no, they were doing this the other night, and it's just like watching this from a side view. This is the weirdest fucking thing.
This is what what I've been trying to say for fucking like ever since I joined YouTube and only had like 100 fucking subscribers. I'm like, none of this is real.
No, it's not. It's
I
not
learned
real
that almost instantly. Right. I'm like, why aren't people getting that? Like I actually really like privately, I love Tonka and Failure and Vamp. I didn't hop on the blood sports thing, but I don't judge them for doing it. I mean, it's working for them or whatever have you.
Fuck it. Yeah, why not?
Right. Why not? It's their channel. I can't tell them what to do. And personally, I think that it's eventually going to kind of collapse because it just relies too much on vitriol, you know? But at the same time, I don't hate these guys or anything like that. But at the same time, I'm sitting there, I'm like, I'll talk to these people like off air, and it's a little bit more like real life. But then on stream, it's just like it. When are people going to understand that even if you're not playing a character like me, getting dressed up and shit, it's all just an act. There's nothing about like, you know how many times I just disconnect from social media and I walk around and I'm like, huh, this is what real life is.
You remember
like,
that? You remember that in the beginning when you're on streams, I told you that?
Oh yeah. Yeah, Undoomed was the first to really kind of open my eyes on that. That he's real. You're really the one that kind of like when I was such a small channel still, and you were just like, "Don't take things seriously, man. All this is just a game." And I'm like, "Righteous, bro, righteous." Yeah, I mean, you sound like Satan gargling hot asphalt, but I get what you're saying to me. Like the words are reaching my soul. You know, like.
No, it really is. The whole thing is a game. The whole thing's, there are people out there that it's kind of like, what is that line about? Something shows you like the truth of yourself. I think I forget what it is, but it's kind of like what it is you've got people right now that have found out that being, very vitriolic and very aggressive online has turned itself into a profitable act. And it does take its tone from cable media, from cable news, from punditry.
Well, here's the thing, Matt, is though. Sorry to interrupt, but here's the thing. It's always been that way. It's always been that way. You go back to the early days of YouTube, and what was the big thing that was popular? Fucking angry gamers and angry movie reviewers, and like it was all just angry video game nerd. He ain't like that in real life. Like fucking nostalgia critic ain't like that in real life. Like it's all an act. It always has been. It goes all the way back to like Jerry Springer. You think the people who went on Jerry Springer actually lived their life like that? Hell no. They got put on television. They were like, fuck yeah, my 15 minutes of fame, I'm going to be outrageous.
Well, there's that. And they were also, they were encouraged to do so and they were paid to do so.
Right, exactly.
That's another thing. So going back to the Springer thing, just to kind of give you an idea of where I think things are at right now. And I don't quite know. Again, I'm not entirely too sure of the true intent of this line, but Jim made a comment to Andy the other day when they were berating him. And then they know Andy is having trouble mentally because he made a joke about suicide, right? Like while he was talking to them. And they at that point, they kind of realized they might have gone too far and they kind of backed off a little bit. But there's a line Jim said where he was like, Andy, don't take away my Jerry Springer.
Right.
And when I heard that, I thought to myself, God damn, dude, here's a guy that is clearly having a mental issue right now. You know, I mean, and I would be too if people writing blog posts and making videos about, you know, me potentially being a sexual assaulter, you know,
right.
Like that's going to fuck with someone mentally. I don't give a fuck who you are. It's going to fuck with you mentally. And so, and then it's like, they're hitting him. His co-host, of which he's put all this faith into, who is a manipulative, cocksucking motherfucker. I do not like JF, but he's a manipulative person. And you can see him manipulate Andy. He does it through like the most basic ways. And it's visible to any. No, fuck it. I don't care. He's got me blocked on Twitter. And
all right. I'm changing the name of this stream to Undoomed, Magog, and Mundane Matt Kumite. I'm changing.
No. I'm just saying. I'm not a big fan of the guy, but you can see.
No, that's fine because I never.
You can see manipulation happening, is what I'm trying to say. And when Andy finally started kind of fighting back against it, because when that whole shut the fuck up thing happened on the stream, you can see Andy got upset, and he was visibly upset, and then after that he was upset. Then there was like he was kind of pushing back against it, and then everyone was coming at him like, no, don't do this, don't end what's going on. And you can see that there are people out there that are now profiting through this ecosystem of toxicity. And I'm like, you people are going to call me an SJW for saying that, but it's fucking true. It's absolutely.
Here's the thing, and here's what I think really happened with the blood sports thing, because it started off as Tonka. Tonka really is the inventor of it. Like,
oh yeah, no, totally. I'm not going to disagree with you on that one at all.
Like Tonka just wanted to do a morning show where he talked shit and displayed wrestling pictures and called people out for their bullshit, because that's who Tonka is. Tonka just doesn't like bullshit. He doesn't care if it's 100 people watching, 10 people watching, or 10,000 people watching. He doesn't care that he's actually making money or anything. He's actually a good guy. He just wanted to talk about the things that were bothering him. And then it turned into this, I'm going to call these motherfuckers out and everything. But here's where I really think blood sports, internet blood sports changed. Okay, look at what I do. I play an angry necromancer who's like half drunk and pissed off at the world that he is seeing through a magic portal, right? But I'm pretending to be angry. They are getting actually angry. They have lost the line of being entertaining angry and then walking away and actually being fucking pissed off. And it happens amongst celebrities, and that's why you get these like TMZ fucking reports on like, oh, so-and-so used to be friends and now they're not because of this. And it's like they forgot that they're entertainers. They're taking it way too personally now.
Often I see trending news stories about a celebrity unfollowing another celebrity on social media, right? Like, and these have been trending news stories, and I'm like, okay, none of this is fucking news. But the problem with it is in our particular environment, this is what it's come to. When you have people that have spent the better part of a couple years earning a name, building a fan base, building their community off of tearing down other people in terms of their beliefs. And when that particular well dried up, because let's face it, the social justice warrior videos, they've for the most part died out. You know, you're not getting as many of them anymore. There's no Milo Stewarts. Francesca does her stuff, but that's even few and far between.
They died on YouTube, but they are. Trust me, I'm in.
They died on. They died on YouTube, which is where people. But that is where people made their money. I'm saying I'm agreeing with you, but I'm saying on this platform.
Yeah. I just wanted to make sure that people understood what you meant.
Yeah, no. SJWs are still around, but
the movement's not dying at all. In fact, it's kicking up speed. It's just dying on YouTube.
It's dying on. It's rallying itself in very interesting ways, and this has a lot to do with Trump being elected. So, if there's one thing I'll give the guy credit for, it's that the salts that his mind is. But at the same time, when the way YouTube operates in order to make money, and this you have to call it. Sorry, I'm on my phone. I'm in my car.
Yeah, you're breaking up pretty bad there, buddy.
Okay, is that better?
Yeah, you sound better. Let me take a break real quick and read this Streamlab because it's pertinent to the conversation. If Race Jacobson says, if you make a living starting fights with people, you'll eventually find the guy that whoops your ass. That's when the party's over.
So that's a fair point.
Yeah, I mean, like, it goes, like, I recently watched a movie called Bunraku, and I watched it years ago when it came out, because it's, like, from 2010. But there's a line in that movie, like, one of the big lines is, like, when, you know, the main leader of the gang, played by Ron Perlman, like, he's, like, talking about how he killed the fucking, you know, this guy in a duel. And the last thing he said to him on his dying breath was, "There's always someone more powerful than you." Doesn't matter how much power you get, right? And so, like, there's that idea of, like, I'm going to start this thing, but what happens when you come across somebody who can hold their own in a fucking fight? You know, like, what happens when you come across somebody who is more influential and powerful than you?
Well, and you see, that's actually a point I was trying to touch upon earlier. When this whole thing started, there was, I think, a couple videos Jim had made where, like, he'd mentioned me. One of them was about the Kilroy thing, and took what I said out of context. It didn't add the next few seconds, which explained my point. And whatever. And so as a result of that, I think I lost about 600 subscribers when that video came out. Right.
Right.
And then, like, 2-3 days later, I had them all back. So that is kind of where we find ourselves in this particular game.
Well, that's because you motherfuckers, you and fucking, here I am in a stream with guys fucking hundreds of thousands of subs. Here I am, like, if I lost 600 subs, I'd be like, ah!
But Magog, none of that matters. No. But I mean this legitimately. I mean this seriously. None of that matters. If they're not there to support you, then fuck them. Like, that's the way I look at it now. Is as after all this time and shit, you know, if people want to sit there and criticize me for, like, stuff I've, like, legitimately done, cool. But if it's just dumb, pithy bullshit, I'm not going to worry about it. So if they want to go, they go. That's fine. What it is the people that are there, the people that are in this chat right now that are watching you are your audience. They're the people that care. They're the ones that legitimately care. And they're the ones you got to worry about. If it's people who are just, like, you know, whatever, and they come and they go, fuck them. Who gives a shit? What I'm trying to say is, in this particular world, like, you know, me losing 600 subs is not, like, a small thing, but I know I'm going to get more back. It's just, you know what? All you can do is dust off your coat and keep on going. Right. It's the people that like lose their shit over losing that is when you see where their mentality is and what they're tied to. They're tied to that number. So again, going back to the Andy thing, Andy got upset because, you know, he lost like 200 subs on his channel. The dude's got 281,000. 200 is literally nothing. You know what I mean? And it's like, but he was freaking out over 200 people because he ties so much of his identity to that number. It's subscriber counts mean very little in the long run. You know, you develop an audience, you build an audience, you cultivate it. Yeah, but you get to a point. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I kind of agree. And I hate to interrupt, but you get on these tangents, man, and we got to let fucking Undoomed talk a little bit.
Oh, I know. I'm a talker, motherfucker.
I just, you know, with all this meta things, all that stuff, I just sort of zone out because whenever I see a goddamn YouTube video about YouTube, I'm like, oh, well, I'm not watching that one.
Well, then don't watch my channel anymore. Right? Like, well, I've been covering a lot of YouTube-based news, like not about the company, but like shit going on with YouTubers in a legal sense. And there's been a lot going on recently.
Well, I mean, if it's a legal story, sure, and you know there are things that you can report on as news, you know. But yeah. Jesus Christ, all the meta stuff and. I don't know, man.
Yeah, like I saw videos from some smaller YouTubers that I'm subscribed to, and it's like, what happened with Andy and JF? I did not click on those videos.
Yeah,
no offense.
I don't know. That's the thing. I don't know anything about what you're talking about because I haven't been watching all these channels. I don't know. I have no idea about what.
And that is why,
you know.
That is why you'll never be invited to the Kumite.
Yeah.
Undoomed, you are missing out on a golden opportunity.
Actually, no. Undoomed is in a very good place. Like you don't because okay. Here's the thing. Undoomed. You have a career, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You have a career. This is a hobby for you.
Yeah.
To many of us, this is our life. It's not just our livelihood. It's our life. It's where we spend the majority of our time. This is where we stay. So when shit goes crazy, we don't have. You know, like we don't really have another place to go to. Like it becomes like this life or death situation. So like last year when the apocalypse really hit, like in the middle of summer, like July, it fucking went to hell. I was stressing like crazy because like I just bought a house, girlfriend was pregnant, and she was out of work. And so all of a sudden, like the pithy amount of money that I'm earning barely paid the fucking bills.
Right.
You know,
and that's why like seriously, even though I'm quitting school, I'm not giving up selling cocaine because if it all bottoms out, you know.
Yeah, cocaine, man, it's a hell of a drug.
I just have to stop using my own product.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Because then you're going to get into sucking lots of cock, and that's like really not be. So, I mean, like that's
that's a hell of a drug.
Right. like I could imagine.
They don't call it demon semen for nothing.
Yeah, it's just, you know, there's so much fucking meta though. I understand why you care, and I even care. You know, I care, of course, but I just don't see how the viewer would care.
Well, the viewer cares because the what you have to so what you have is you've got this idea that there are people out there that like that live their whole life through other people, vicarious living through somebody else. And we get a lot of that here on YouTube. There are people that I know that follow me on literally every platform. They will talk to me on every platform. People message me every single day. They want to talk to me all the time. And it becomes this kind of the thing where they send me stuff because they want me to talk about it. They want to vicariously live through. And I'm using me as an example, but there are other people you could also, think about anyone and that would be a thing too. And so people develop this, it's like celebrities. It's this, this idea that like, we're kind of internet. I don't want to use the term celebrity because I really fucking hate that. But in the context of this, we're like internet celebrities. So people know who we are. And then
they a bad thing, man. Like I'm still blown away that I have like 25,000 people that watch.
And you should have a lot fucking more. I don't understand how you don't. God damn it.
I haven't done a collab with Undoomed yet. That's the problem.
Well, there we go. You worked on Undoomed. What he just needs to have you host a video on his channel and you'll be fine.
He doesn't. People don't do that, man. Because like people see like a mirror or like, hey, check this guy out video, and nobody watches it. Like I don't know why. It's like a stigma or something.
It's a weird thing. There was a time when that was a big thing. What they need to do is bring back response videos. Like bring back that feature, and everyone would be a lot happier. But it's like the thing is, it's like okay. So how many people do you know like follow real life celebrities, right? Like movie stars and people on TV and shit. And they get really hooked into their life. Well, but they're always kind of kept at a distance. And social media has allowed that distance to be closed, that gap to be closed a little bit, because they can interact directly with these celebrities. Like I remember the first time an actor responded to me on Twitter, I was like, like, oh my God, they're talking to me. Right. Like, and then like, okay, like the, the show Modern Family, right? Ever seen that show?
One of
the gay guys on there. He's not really gay, but he's one of the gay characters. I made a joke about him following me back on Twitter, and he liked it, so he followed me back on Twitter. And I'm all of a sudden like, oh shit, like this dude who's on a major network show is following me on Twitter. Like, oh my God, And the thing is, it's that same mindset. So like there are people out there that will say like they'll email you, and I'm sure both of you guys have gotten this. Like they've had a bad day. And they just like that you have videos. Your videos bring them comfort. Yeah. And that's part of that community that gets built. It's that people will come and they'll listen to what you have to say and they like it and they want to tell you. And then they, if you respond, there's like that dopamine that kicks in. And there's a connection there. And then that's a lot of it. So that's why people get involved. So it's kind of like, it's like if I battle someone on Twitter, there are people that will like respond, like try to fight on my behalf because like they think that it's unfair. People are saying to me or some shit.
Let's go back to talking about me. Okay.
Okay. Sorry. I know. I saw your dick is 9 inches long.
Fucking small dick, man.
It's if you ever see Magog's wand, that thing literally just ejaculates Wi-Fi. It's insane.
It's
ejaculate Wi-Fi. Oh, okay.
I got a 4G. That's a new one.
That's a joke in one of my upcoming videos Saturday morning at 7:30 or 9.
Yeah, you've got a great audience.
Fuck you. Fuck you.
Tip your waitress.
Fuck you. Take a jab at me because I gave away a joke on a live stream and did it in my next video. Like,
Oh, you did?
I did that once, and nobody will fucking let me live it down.
Oh my God. What was that?
Oh, I fucking held up a funny, like I had a scroll with a spell on it. And somebody said something in the chat, and I was like, "Oh, I got the spell for you," because they asked me, "Is there a spell to make my boyfriend more pliable or something?" And I fucking opened up I grabbed the scroll off my desk, and I was dressed in the character, you know, it was a side quest, and I fucking unraveled it, and it was just a middle finger, like on the scroll, you know. And I liked it so much that I ended up putting it in a video, and then people were like, "Hey, you did that on a live stream, you cheating son of a bitch!" Like, yeah. But no, I mean,
call me Amy Schumer. Fuck you. All right, at least I'm not Amy Schumer or something like that.
Right. Yeah. But, like, I get what you're saying, Matt. Like, I know that sub count isn't like as important, but I've learned too that like I've kind of changed my stance on that. When I first started, I was like, view count is more important. Like, how many people actually watch? Like, that is important. Yeah. But sub count, I originally thought that sub count just made you more, I guess, like legitimate in the eyes of other bigger YouTubers. So
it does.
Sub count.
It does.
But now I've kind of changed my mind on that. I think it's just as important as view count, because if you compare view to sub ratio, it'll give you a good idea of who your actual watchers are.
My eyes are starting to glaze over again. It's meta. What the fuck? Who cares?
Oh, man, you gotta come to VidCon, motherfucker. Well, I'll take you out. We'll get a drink, and I'll just start going through all the
100% meta.
You know,
yeah, I know. You'll be walking into the lion's den.
Yeah, it'd be like fucking eyes glazed over just a second to walk in there.
Is that sub count does count towards like showing you who your new audience is. Because after I did my collab with Bearing, I got like a 7,000 sub boost.
Right.
Yeah,
it was amazing. And it was like I saw the numbers coming in, and then I saw all the new comments, and people were like, "Oh my God, I just discovered you through Bearing," and blah 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 blah. And it was just like that was a good indication that I was growing in the right direction, because I got that many people's attention. And so like that's where the sub count actually counts. But at the same time, I also understand what you're saying. It really more matters. Like if you lose like 5 subs one day because you didn't put out a video or something, don't fucking get disheartened, you know?
Yeah. It's more or less like that. It's like, look, the people are going to come, people are going to go. What we've learned, hold on, Undoomed, you're going to want to plug your fucking ears for this. But what we've learned in the last couple of days is that essentially YouTube does not share your videos with all of your subscribers. And
that's not news, though.
Yeah, that's
but they confirmed it. But they confirmed it.
Oh yeah, I saw that little video. I saw that video.
Yeah,
where they were like, they choose it based on what you've been watching, and it's like we send alerts to the people we think are more likely to watch your videos.
Yeah, and
it's like, why not just send it to everyone, you fucking assholes?
Yeah. It's kind of weird like that, because I look through my sub count, like I'll look through my my notifications and whatnot, and I'm all like, who fucking does videos? Like, I've noticed it's been fewer and fewer and fewer people, and that's part of the negative cycle of it. Is like, if they're not showing me people, then I'm not watching people. If I'm not watching, then how am I seeing what they're up to? You know, so it becomes this perpetually negative funnel.
I've noticed that with Undoomed. Like, I'm subscribed to him. I've always loved Undoomed's videos. I've been watching him for years. But because Undoomed does videos kind of like when he can, I don't always catch them. And since I haven't watched an Undoomed video in a while, I don't get the alerts anymore.
Well, yeah, I think the last video from Undoomed I got an alert for was like the Rose McGowan one.
Right.
Was that your last video?
No, I think I've had like...
you did one on Dankula, and the only reason I know that is because I see it on Twitter first before I ever see it on YouTube.
Right. See, I got a notification for Rose McGowan, but I never got one for Dankula. And I was watching a lot of Dankula videos, so it's like, I don't...
Well, that's it wasn't exactly a Dankula video, so I'm not sure what you're saying there.
Well, it wasn't Dankula, but didn't you just do a video recently on the oh shit, what was it?
No, I think you're messing it up there, but no, I just did a video that was basically just fucking around with graphics.
Yeah. I might be thinking of somebody else then.
Yeah. It had nothing to do with Dankula. It was just fucking, me having a good old time with like the good old days, doing just some nice Undoomed graphics, basically.
Right.
And then I did a stream earlier today.
That's what I saw, because it was like the state of the UK or something.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I was thinking of. It wasn't a video, it was a stream. And I saw it on Twitter. I didn't see it.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So that was about Dankula, sort of.
Yeah. Or it was one of those, because you had one called like Freedom of Speech with like Anne somebody.
Right.
And like that's what I was thinking of. But I saw it on Twitter. The point is, I saw it on Twitter. I didn't get an alert for it on YouTube.
No, but that's the way it is. You don't get the alerts. You have to sort of go to your favorite content creators and check their fucking page,
social media.
Yeah, social media, or just go to their YouTube page, because YouTube sure ain't gonna tell you.
Dork Oracle dropped a super chat and says, I got super excited when Magog replied to my pic on Twitter of me wearing one of his shirts. I Patreon both Magog and Undoomed. I'm always really happy when you guys have a new video out. Well, thank you.
Wow. Thank you very much.
I have not done new content. Like, I've been so busy with school. And you missed the whole beginning of this stream, Matt, where I talked about my school. Like
yeah.
Jesus
you haven't been out much lately.
It's fucking awful. There's not a single day goes by I don't wake up in the morning and just want to bash my fucking head through a wall. Like, it's just bad. Like, I got photography teachers telling me that the photography has a history in racism. I've got fucking students in class that are just like super like SJW-y. Like, well, oh God, I have a sequential media class, basically comic books, right? And we're doing up these comic books, and we have to do our next comic book on like a fairy tale or something. We have to make up our own fairy tale. We can't do like a reimagining, right? He wants to see if we're creative in writing a story and telling it with visuals. And it's like, it's the final project. I've got 5 weeks to do an 8-page comic book. And we were going around the table yesterday. We got to pitch our ideas to the class. And it gets to this one girl, and she's like, I'm going to do this like biracial, like LGBT fairy tale.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I was like, I just want to just face fuck all of you. Like, I just want to, like.
Yeah. I went to the March for Our Lives in town last weekend because my girlfriend really wanted to go. And so I went to that, and like during one of the girls' speeches, she was straight up a Tumblr feminist. I mean,
right.
She starts blaming video games for violence, sexism, and racism and stuff. And I'm just sitting there like, I groaned loudly, and I got like some dirty looks from my girlfriend. She was like, shut up. And I'm all like, what you doing? Like, what? Come on. I understand. She's like, the girl's like, like 16. I get it. Yeah. At the same time, it's like, bitch, did you get your information from fucking Feminist Frequency? The fuck is wrong with you?
Of course you did. Of course you did.
Here's what I thought of the March for Our Lives. Here is a group of individuals who have never experienced the fun of shooting a gun. They do not know how fun it is because they've never done it. They don't know how fun it is. I'll go out to my land and shoot fucking glass bottles, and it's almost like the most cathartic, relaxing fucking thing. I'm like, bam, yeah, that motherfucker shattered. Hell yeah. Fuck. It makes you feel like a fucking man.
Boy.
Like Jesus Christ. Jesus. Like, I get terrible fucking things happen in the world with guns, but has anybody ever tried to bring the argument of like sports shooting and actually like learning safe gun usage and
they don't
as a hobby? It is actually incredibly fun. If you've never have you ever shot a gun, Matt? Come on.
Absolutely.
It was fun, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, I used to go shooting all the time.
Yeah. What about you, Undoomed? I know you live in fucking no gun hell, California, but you've shot guns, right?
Sure.
It's fun. It's fucking fun. It's like stress relief.
We used to go to a rock quarry when I was a kid after Halloween. We'd go and collect all of the neighbors' pumpkins that they were going to get rid of.
Hell yeah.
And we'd go and we'd load our 22s with hollow point rounds.
Right.
And
all the fucking washing machines in the desert, for fuck's sake.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, the thing is like, so it's kind of like, it's like this. I'm of two minds of this issue. Like, one, I understand entirely where the kids are coming from. I think their arguments are misplaced and clearly somebody's feeding them information. And at the same time, I'm also very pro Second Amendment. I'm like, look, we need to teach more about gun safety than we need to like try taking this shit away. Like, because you're never going to take them away. There's more guns in this country than there are people. You know, just about.
Right.
There's like the estimation. No, the estimations. Well, I've heard different estimations, but
there's 400 million people, over 400 million people in this country.
No, there's not. There's 320 million people.
400 sounds a little bit high.
400 sounds like way high, dude. Now, don't get me wrong. The next census, when you count in all the illegals,
I was off by 75 million. Okay,
that was a small number.
I just Googled it in 2017, 325.7 million.
There you go.
I mean, I get it, but how many registered guns in America are like 14 or 15 million? You know?
No, dude, the estimation has it at around 300 plus million guns. However, it's only, I think, like, but I've heard like different things where it's like only a small percentage of the population actually owns the bulk majority of those guns.
Yeah, like 3% of the.
It's like, I know people who've got fucking arsenals, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, if there's ever a zombie outbreak, I'm coming to your house, motherfucker. Like, I know where your shit is.
Right. Like, I personally here in Arkansas own. Well, I got rid of a couple of them, but I own 29 guns.
Okay. I didn't expect that to come out of your mouth.
Oh, yeah. No, I've got now, a lot of them.
I was going to ask you if you're a prepper, but we already know the answer.
No, I don't know.
That's why he's buying 120 acres in the middle of fucking Alabama. Or Arkansas. Sorry, Arkansas.
Good question.
You got to understand something, though. It's not like I went out and bought 29 guns all at once. Like,
that would have risen some goddamn red flags.
Yeah, I've been collecting since I was. I mean, basically, when you're born, they give you a gun in the South. Like, you know, they're like, "Here's your birth certificate, little kid. Here's your birth certificate, and here's your first cowboy pistol." Like, you know, like my first gun was literally like an 8-shot 22 fucking revolver, like just a little 22 caliber rat shooter, you know. But I fucking had fun with it when I was a kid. I didn't shoot BB guns. I shot real guns. Okay. I was out in the backyard, pop, 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 pop. My mom would be like, "Get out and get fucking dinner's ready." You know?
Well, I mean, it's like it's you know, my stepdad got me a 22 when I was, I think, like 10, and then like cut the stock down to my size. And then had my name engraved on the side of it, you know, as a gift and everything else. So like I guess you could call it gun culture to an extent, is a very deep-seated tradition in this country. Not just in the South, but like this is in Oregon. You know, people like where I live now, it's legal to fire off guns on your property, provided there's a target.
Most of the registered firearms to legal gun owners are in the flyover states, the Midwest and the South.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, though, like when it comes to the whole gun debate and people bring up like school shootings like Sandy Hook, and they argued the AR-15 back 5 years ago, I always bring up the fact that Adam Lanza killed his mother and stole her guns. Yeah. Like that's not the same thing as Nicholas Cruz purchasing these guns or James Holmes purchasing the guns. In some cases, these are kids who have stolen their parents' weaponry after killing their parents. And that is something to take into effect as well. But I feel like facts have no fucking place in this debate. And that's unfortunate. But instead, this whole march in DC, you know, it's like, oh, look, there's Demi Lovato. There's fucking Ariana Grande.
Right.
Like, what the fuck does this have to do with the goddamn discussion?
Right. I got a Streamlab from Mad Cat. He says, when was the last time someone threw a fucking hammer? I don't know what that is.
Hashtag Hammer Lives Matter.
Right. And then we got a super chat from Reverend Satan. Satan! He says, we hear so much about education, but as soon as firearm safety education is brought up to reduce firearm-related incidents, you're an insane person.
Yeah.
I didn't know Satan was so well-rounded.
Oh, come on. Satan is the nicest guy ever. Let me tell you something about Satanism. Nobody has ever actually died because of Satanism. It's always been the fear of Satanism has killed people. You know, the fear of Satan, you know, by religious nuts have killed people. But the actual, like, Church of Satan, nobody's ever died.
What's the last significant thing the Church of Satan did? You know, they put a pagan god statue.
Yeah, they put the Baphomet statue. They tried to do that here in Arkansas. Like we have the 10 Commandments outside of our state capital here in Little Rock. And they came through and tried to put the Baphomet statue, and the people of Arkansas were not having it. They were not fucking having it, man. I live in the Bible Belt, man. This is the Bible Belt, bro. They were not having it. Like the moment it went up, because it did go to the legislation, and everybody's like, well, it's constitutional right. They wouldn't allow it on the state capitol grounds because it's technically state property and they can decide what goes on it. But they did allow them to put it up in the town, and somebody literally drove their fucking car through the statue. Like they just fucking rammed the barricade. Awesome. They were like, fuck you, Satan. Did
they abandon the vehicle afterward and they claimed someone stole it in a DUI?
They ran away and everything, like,
oh man. Because that happens out here where I'm at. People get drunk and they crash their cars all the goddamn time. And so then they just abandon the car, and then they go home and they tell the cops that the car was stolen.
Yep.
So the cops just assume that like every abandoned vehicle is just a drunk that got wrecked it.
Right.
So that's when I called them to say our car was legitimately stolen. The cop was like, "Oh shit, I had no idea." So I'm like, "You gonna investigate?" And he's like, "Nah, probably not."
Reverend Satan dropped another super chat saying AR-15 has been on the civilian market since 1958. That is a nice piece of random, fact. But here's the thing with the AR-15 and most of the guns these people want taken away. It's because they look mean. Because I guarantee you, my hunting rifle, my Browning 308, pump out just the same amount of rounds as an AR-15 and kill just as many people.
Yeah, I'm sure everything will.
I don't know if you really want to brag about that, though.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that everything will be much better if they just buy handguns and can conceal them.
Right? Like handguns are actually more deadly in a mass shooting.
Yeah,
you can literally just point and spray about 15 rounds.
Well, you can actually conceal them.
And you can conceal it. Yeah, you can hide it in your fucking jacket. I have my smallest gun of the 29 I own is it's a Sidekick, and it's literally like a tiny little, like it's almost the size of a Derringer pistol, like you see in the Old West,
Mm-hmm.
And it holds a magazine of 7.22 rounds, and it literally is just like it can go on your ankle. It's so light. It's such a tiny little gun. I could pull that fucking thing, put like 7 holes in somebody. Like, like I'd love to carry that thing around if they'd allow guns on campus and stuff, because if a school shooter ever came to my school, I'd rather have a little fucking pussy 22 like that than nothing.
Right.
I read an article the other day. They're teaching kids in classrooms to like bring rocks in off the playground and have them in their pockets. So if there's a school shooter, they can throw rocks at the motherfucker. What? They're teaching kids to throw rocks at the school shooter.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
It's, the thing is, they're just trying to find, it's like any port in a storm sort of thing. They're just trying to find any solution to the problem, so regardless of what it might be.
Basically duck and cover.
Yeah. I mean, there was one teacher that I said that, like, why not put like fire extinguishers in the classrooms? Because the teacher could then blast it at the shooter, and that would basically fuck them up a little bit, enough for maybe kids to escape or them to be subdued or something. So, I mean, like there's,
I'm an advocate for teachers with flamethrowers.
Yeah, fuck it. Mr. Johnson, there's a spider in the corner. Let me get it.
Yeah. Like Dork Oracle drops a sign and says, apparently some of the kids were forced to march.
The thing is, there's a big stigma about it right now. So when there was a walkout a couple weeks ago, some kids were suspended for not walking out, and some kids were suspended for walking out. And I'm all like, wait, like there's a logical fallacy here that is just like, it's really bad. Like, there
was a kid in Arkansas here. It was in the local paper. The parents are suing the school or whatever because he got like corporal punished for walking out for the gun movement thing. Like they fucking spanked him.
Really?
Okay.
And now the parents are suing. It's like a private school, so apparently they're allowed to have corporal punishment if you agree to it. Like you have to sign the thing allowing the principal to fucking spank your child or whatever. But yeah, it was in the paper. It was like student gets spanked for walking out of school, and it's like,
That's still some kinky shit, though.
We are so back-asswards in Arkansas. Thank you, everybody. And Race Jacobson on Streamlabs says, no, that was the Satanic Temple that wanted the Baphomet statue. They're not even a serious religious movement. They were created for a mockumentary about prayer in schools. I did not know that.
Yeah, that's interesting. Hey, guys, actually, I got to run. I got to go run an errand before I have a stream in an hour, and I'm like way behind schedule.
Yeah, I understand, man. Well, thanks for hopping on and setting me straight while I talk shit about you.
No, dude, this whole thing is like this game is what it is. It is what it is. I mean, hopefully one day we'll all be copacetic again, but who knows when or where that may take place.
Yeah, I don't get it, you know. I try to stay like I'm kind of like Undoomed. I kind of walk between the raindrops, you know.
That's a good analogy.
Yeah, I've kind of stayed away from it all, and everybody.
But you know what? To be fair, man, sometimes you just wanna go cannonball, motherfucker.
Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, sure, I respect that.
Yeah, no, don't get me wrong. I do a roast, man. Like if they invited me on the Kumite to do kind of a joke Kumite where I'm making fun of a friend of mine, and we are understanding that it's just a joke, it's a roast. I'd do that in a heartbeat, but I'm not interested in being like, JF, you're a fucking pussy and you're a fucking bitch and you're a weirdo fucking, you know, like I don't even know that much about the guy. I don't really like his voice. So I don't watch Andy's show because of it. Like,
yeah, I hear you, man.
I'm a superficial motherfucker. I heard that guy talk and I was like, no, this guy's a serial killer. I don't like him.
All right, guys. I'll talk to you all later.
Later, Matt.
Take
care. See you later, Undoomed.
Touch, man. Well, that was exciting, Undoomed.
Well, there you go for talking shit about people, and they're always monitoring you.
That's what I fucking get, man. I didn't even know he was in the chat until I started talking shit about him, and then all of a sudden there's that check mark with his little fucking skull symbol next to it. I was like, God damn it. I got caught.
There you go.
So anyway, I know you've been up for a while, and I don't know how much you want to carry on, man, but I can end it if you'd like. We've been going for 2 hours now. Or if there's something else you'd like to talk about for a little while longer, I mean, it's up to you, brother. I'll leave it up to you.
I don't know. Maybe we should round it off. I don't really know.
Well, I can go till 11, so that's 20 more minutes. But then I got school tomorrow. So how about that?
Right.
20 minutes? Let's do 20 minutes. Make it a nice even number, 11 o'clock, you know.
What do you like have a Siri alert? Go to bed.
Go to bed. I didn't buy into any of that technology, man. I don't want my fucking shit.
I don't want no fucking technology, man.
No, I don't want shit talking to me, man. I've seen those videos of like how like fucking what's her name? Alexa or whatever. Will like randomly laugh in the middle of the night.
Yeah, I'll be like, what did you say to me?
I'd be like, kill it with fire.
What did you say to me, motherfucker? And then you got to raise it an octave. What did you say to me?
Right, you little bitch. You know, fucking no, I don't want Alexa. I don't want fucking Siri or any of that. I don't even have an iPhone. I bought like a cheap ass Android phone, man. And I don't even like Google. If it wasn't for YouTube owning Google, I probably wouldn't use Google products anymore, man. They are really fucking freaking me out with their like watching fucking everything like Big Brother, you know?
Yeah.
They become too big for their fucking britches.
I think more and more people are waking up to that fact.
Yeah, like I don't even like using Google Chrome or anything anymore. I'm trying to use other browsers.
I think they're doing the same mistake exactly the same mistake as Microsoft did 15 years before or 20 or whatever it is, you know?
Yeah.
They've basically just assumed that they own the world right now. And that's exactly what Microsoft did. They figured, we own the world. Every motherfucker is using our products and there's no escape.
Right. Yeah.
And we can do what the fuck we want, asshole, because you got to have Windows.
Right, exactly. And then people started using fucking Linux, and Apple came out with their new operating system and bounced back after, they pushed Steve Jobs out of the company, and then they just started to fail. Like they had to bring him back. Had to bring him back because of how bad Apple computers were.
They had to eat some crow.
Oh yeah. It was but they're bounced back now too. Even Apple is getting too big for their fucking britches. It's gotten to a point to where nobody can compete. That's the problem. Like you got like little sites that start up to try to compete with YouTube. You'll never compete with YouTube. Not right now.
That's the problem.
Not until there's like an actual mass exodus. Something so terrible has to happen on YouTube that average people that use YouTube to watch like music videos and shit go, fuck that.
Yeah, and we're not seeing it right now.
No.
But, I mean, they got to be careful.
Now, you started a BitChute, didn't you? I think I follow you on BitChute. Did you start a BitChute?
No, I haven't started. I just got disillusioned after fucking VidMe.
Yeah. What I like about BitChute is I don't have to worry about it. I literally set it up, connect it to my YouTube. So when I upload on YouTube, a day later, it auto uploads the newest video onto my BitChute. I don't have to go and upload multiple times. That's a good selling point for BitChute is they'll grab your latest video and put it up for you.
Yeah, but I think I tried it at some point and somebody had already stolen my name, so I was like, fuck.
Oh, really? Somebody Oh, that's fucking shady. Whoever did that, fuck you. That's fucking shady, man. And I do like the attention too. Like the guy who owns BitChute actually reached out to me, like messaged me on Twitter and was like, "Hey, I love your content. Could you come over to my platform? Could you start a BitChute? I'll streamline you in, get you verified, like all this and that." That was really cool. That was really cool, that interpersonal thing,
yeah, that's nice. And if he fixed my fucking name, I'd do that.
Yeah, like if he could free that up, maybe you could just go tweet at him, man. Tweet at BitChute on Twitter and be like, "What the fuck?" But they don't have. I don't think they have live stream capability yet, so that's hurting them.
Yeah, and it also always takes like fucking 30 seconds to just skip to another place in the video.
Yeah, their video streaming needs to be a little bit more streamlined, but I think that's a server space issue. I mean, starting a company like that, like a video hosting for everybody to use.
I thought they didn't have servers. Wasn't the whole point that they're like distributed?
I have no idea. I mean, it's things have to be stored somewhere, though. I don't know if it's servers or if it's just connected computers or whatever, but it still doesn't matter. They still have to have a massive infrastructure to run a company like that. Like it's going to take time for any new company to actually
I thought it was all based on BitTorrent.
I don't know, honestly. I don't think so. I think the name is confusing people. I think people think that it has some sort of connection with the actual, like
I don't think so.
Stuff, but I don't think they're owned by is it Kim.com that owns Bitcoin? Like they do have a
no, not Bitcoin, BitTorrent.
Yeah, I've never seen any connection to BitTorrent, but they do have a connection with Bitcoin because they actually have you can donate Bitcoins, you can actually mine cryptocurrency on
right. But those things have nothing to do with each other.
But what I'm saying is I think that's why it's called BitChute.
Okay.
Because it's more the Bitcoin thing, not the torrent thing. I don't know how they run it. I just signed up for it recently, to be honest with you. Only my last like 15 videos are up on it. And that's because they backlogged me. They were like, "We'll go ahead and get your last 15 videos up." And I'm like, "Appreciate it." But I've only had it for like 2 months, so I really don't know much about them, but I do, ever since VidMe went down, I do like having an alternative site to back my videos up on in case anything happens to YouTube.
Well, obviously I have all my videos backed up, so that
I have them.
I don't have them I wouldn't have it for backup because I have a backup.
I do too. But I like the public backup so people can still find me.
Right.
Like I do have my like external hard drive I store everything on just in case my computer craps out. I have a physical backup too, of course, but yeah, I like
apparently not all people have that. Apparently some people just upload their shit and then fuck it, delete it. It's uploaded. So
right. I have no idea how if it's tied into BitTorrent somehow. And it's a pure sharing thing. I really don't know. If that's the case, then yeah, great for them. But it still is a massive infrastructure to try to compete with YouTube. I mean, YouTube literally gets like 300 hours of content uploaded every minute. How do you compete with that? How do you fucking compete with that? Well,
I guess that's if that's the truth, that they're actually based on BitTorrent, then yeah, that would be one way to do it. Because obviously it doesn't matter how much
Yeah,
you upload to BitTorrent.
sure. Yeah, yeah.
You can just upload infinitely, and as soon as you're watching something, then you'd be uploading as well.
Right. Yeah, I don't know, man. I only just recently restarted using BitTorrent because my ISP kept flagging me and turning my internet off. But then I discovered VPN. I discovered how to use VPN, so I've just gone back to, because I just wanted to get a few things. I'm not a big pirater, most of the time I'll buy movies if I like them. But there are some movies out there I kind of want to watch them before I commit to buying them because I'm just not sure if they're good.
Right.
So I'll download a movie, I'll watch it. If I like it, I'll buy it. Like I downloaded Thor Ragnarok and I watched it and I liked it, so I bought it on Amazon. So like I feel better about it. I guess I'm a kind-hearted pirate. Like,
yeah, we'll go with that.
Right. So yeah, I mean, I signed up for BitChute just to have an alternate, because like direct uploads to Mines, I don't like their video player either. And I do have a Mines, but I don't spend that much time on Mines or Gab. I don't know what it is. I just can't be drawn away from what I'm using now. I don't get it.
I don't know. I like Mines.
I do too. I like it. I just don't spend that much time on it.
It has some flaws, sure. I don't know. I guess I just got a lot of traction on Mines.
Right. Well, that's because you're Undoomed. I got like no followers.
No, but it's like I have no traction on Gab.
Yeah, me neither, man. Gab's kind of weird. Like when you first go to Gab, it feels like Twitter, like the layout and everything. But then when you go to like reply to a comment or like a comment or something, you're like, it's weird. They don't have a very clear, like it's these tiny little invisible arrows to upvote and downvote things. And I don't.
Well, I mean, I guess you could get used to that stuff. It's just that it seems like there's nobody there because no one ever does anything. And, you'll do something and it'll get like 5 upvotes and
right.
No one ever follows you. And it's just, okay.
Yeah. Andrew Torba's busy fighting Google in court.
Right.
So maybe Gab will become something if they can actually get the app fucking approved for the Play Store and stuff.
Right.
And that's what they're fighting for. Trez Silverwolf says BitChute does peer-to-peer. They are working on a mobile app, then live stream in beta mode. Ask Suit yourself. Yeah, Suit's definitely a proponent of BitChute. He's one of the reasons why I finally went over there and joined up. And because what keeps happening to Suit is fucking bullshit, man. They keep shutting his channel down and all that shit. Fucking pain in the ass, man.
Yeah. That was tough. I can't believe he hasn't gotten his channel back yet. Yeah,
it pissed me off because I just did a collab with him, and then all of a sudden he was gone.
Yeah,
I was like, damn, So anyway, we're gonna round this off. We got about 10 minutes to 11, but I think we can kind of close it out now. Thanks for coming on, man. It's been a while. Just like catch up with you now and again.
Of course, nice being here.
Yeah. And what's your plans for the future, man? What you got going on?
No, it's just, I'll just keep doing what I'm doing. That's so yeah, no huge
no big announcements, nothing. Do what you do, man. Do what you do.
Yeah,
I hear you. We're gonna make it great. We're gonna do the greatness. That's and Hillary is gonna go to jail.
Yep. Pretty much.
Yeah, right. I don't know, man. Like I've got a lot going on. So even when I'm out of school, I've got to concentrate on building the building up on the land. We got to get a slab laid and all this and that. It's going to be a 40 by 60 building. It's going to have a little apartment in the back so I can live up there. And then the rest of it's just going to be an open studio,
Right.
And I'm going to be able to expand the show a little bit and then see where it goes. And if my biggest worry is getting internet up there. It's so out in the country that I can't get like satellite. I can get satellite internet, but satellite internet sucks balls.
Yeah.
It's expensive and it sucks fucking dick. So I'm hoping because I have full bars on my land, because there is a cell tower nearby, I can get one of those like hotspot things.
Yeah, should work.
Yeah, and then pay like AT&T to just like fucking turn my house into a hotspot and use just 4G internet or 5G internet.
Right. Well, should
So
work.
so we'll see. Because I know somebody who does that because he lives in the country and he says it's fast enough to game on. He does online gaming with it and doesn't lag or anything. So if I can get the same speeds, then I'll be all right.
Yeah, it should work.
Yeah. So it'll be exciting, man. I'll let you know what's going on and everything. Failure accomplished was timed out by Jeffrey Smith. Why are y'all timing out failure?
What does that mean? Where was he timed out?
In the chat. Somebody fucking timed him out in the chat.
Oh, in your chat?
Yeah, in the chat on the stream. I just looked over and it's like failure accomplished was timed out by Jeffrey Smith for 300 seconds. Don't time people out.
It's like everyone's a fucking moderator in your chat is like, holy shit.
Yeah, I mean, true, but that's because, you know.
So as soon as someone says something to someone's going to time someone out.
Yeah, if you timed out failure, if you're timing people out, like I gave a lot of people wrenches because at a time when I was streaming, like I'd get on and do these like out of character streams, and suddenly my chat would just be overwhelmed with bots. It would just be like, they would just be like nigger, 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 nigger. Like it was like thousands of them. So I gave a lot of people wrenches so they could just ban them as soon as they saw them, you know? And then now I don't see the bots anymore. And I've got a ton of people, you know, like I will take your fucking wrench away if you're banning people or you're timing people out for no reason. I will fucking do it. Man. I gave you guys wrenches to help with bots. I didn't give you wrenches to just pick on people, you know?
Yeah. We don't want to turn in the UK here.
Yeah. What is this? What is this? Scotland court? Like, that's I really should do a live stream in character with fucking Magog wearing like the old judge wig instead of a hood, you know? Have like a gavel and literally start judging people on YouTube.
Well, maybe you can do video on it.
Yeah, I could do it like an individual video. I think that would be pretty funny. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, thanks for catching up, and thanks to everybody for dropping by. I just really wanted to catch up with my buddy Undoomed. It's been a long time since we hung out, so we had some good conversation, and I want to thank Mundane Matt for dropping by as well and taking over the stream for a little bit. Fucking chatty Cathy, that dude's drinking some massive fucking caffeine to stay up with that kid, man. Like, I love talking with Matt though. I know there's some of my fans don't really care for him, but I'll bring him on the stream anyway. And I'm like, I don't let that bother me. Like some people, you disagree or agree. Like I don't agree with Matt on everything. Like we're definitely opposites in many ways on the like political and social spectrum, but he's just a cool dude. I like talking to him. I always wanted my live streams to be kind of an open platform. Let anybody come on and say what they want. And if I disagree, I disagree, but I like talking to people. So.
Yeah, of course.
So, and most people on YouTube are like that. Don't get me wrong. I mean, but there are some now that are just like, they are the witch or they are the branded person. Don't talk to them anymore. And I don't get that. I really don't.
Well, I mean, it is kind of limiting as compared to the way it used to be. There's like, if you talk to that guy's going to be pissed. If you talk to this guy, that guy's going to be pissed.
Right.
Like, fuck, I don't. That's why I don't even follow the drama, because then I can just know in my heart and tell everyone that I don't know about this shit.
Right. Yeah, I do the same thing, man. Everybody, did you see what happened on the Kumite? No, I didn't. No, I'm sorry. I like Tonka and everything, but I ain't got time to sit around for 7 fucking hours and listen to the Kumite. The motherfuckers start the Kumite at like 10 in the morning, and they'll go all the way until the late afternoon, evening. Like it's seriously, like most of the time, it's between 4 and like 7 hours.
Right.
I don't know how they do it, to be honest with you. It's exhausting.
No, I mean, obviously it's a great gig.
Yeah, it's definitely working for them, and you know, I'm not going to fault them for doing it because they're definitely making money too. I mean,
Yeah.
super chats on some of those kumites, man. So the ones that I do catch for a little while, you know, when I'm on break from school or I'm driving, man, I'll like look down and be like, that dude just got like a $250 super chat just to be like, JF is a bitch. You know, like just you pay $250 just to be like, you're a bitch. Like, god damn. You know,
obviously he's going to get up early in the morning to do that.
fuck yeah, you know. And it was good on him. He came up with a good idea to do an actual morning show. You know how many people are like sitting in their cubicles and have nothing to listen to because most people stream in the evenings?
Right.
You know, that's a really good idea to do a morning show. I just can't do it. I'm at fucking school every
day. Yeah.
So, but anyway, we'll catch you guys later. Y'all have a good night.
All right. Take care.